Good evening. Welcome to Greyhound Watchalong for the final of the Romford Champion Stakes. Decent race. There's some good races tonight, but a card that has maybe because I've had a long week, but it's absolutely melted my brain. I don't know what to do with it. I thought it's a really tricky one this week. What do you guys think?
I've done one race.
You've done one race.
Yeah, preparation is key.
I mean, we just have the guests that put the work in on Watchalong. And what about you, Watty? Tara asked.
I was going out in the lash, and my drinking partners all went downhill, so I've done 2 races. So at least I'm one ahead of him.
You've done 3 PL?
I've done more than that.
We can always rely on PL.
That's what we like to hear. Any standout bets from anyone this evening? I think you had a few, Watty.
Yeah, I fancy It's Your Best Mate. Just 2 on the draw. It's Your Best Mate and Real McCoy. I think they both got really good draws, so they'll be my 2 at around 3 to 1 each.
I agree with those. I'd throw Warzone Tom in there to get 3 on the board, but beyond that, there's a few I'm interested in, but not heavily. What about you, PL?
I quite liked the sweepstake final, race 6.
Is that the A3 race?
Yeah. I like XV Delta.
Yeah.
Track 4.
Yeah.
And probably save on Hazelwood Alarm in 6.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I similar sort of thing in the next race, the standard final. I was Clash Duff Rocket just over Richie Best Mate. And like Paul said, he's got a good chance on the draw alone, really. But I just didn't know whether he had enough to clear for. And I actually thought Eau Rouge was big at 8s as well. I was expecting, because he was short last week, I thought he'd be shorter than he was, and I thought that was the better heat, if you like. So I might even be betting the 3 of them in that race. I thought the next race was impossible, and I actually thought Carter Bar was quite big at sort of 4 to 1, 9 to 2.
Yeah,
to go smash.
Apparently, there when Sportsbook went 13 to 2, the top in that race.
Yeah,
or 11 to 2.
Something ridiculous. It was up there a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think. Well, if it can't have been when you look at the price of the other dogs. How much can you get on anyhow? You know what I mean? If it was me, I'd be able to get, I think, something like £2.50 on or something. So it wouldn't have made no odds to me.
We're about to see the traps open at Oxford.
Or not?
Maybe open.
Yeah.
How
Can't believe it. Well, that video Dave Clark put up, they weren't open very quickly there, were they?
No.
I mean, last week in that puppy heat, that Pillar to Post dog, they didn't open then either, but luckily he pinged out but managed to get underneath him. I can't believe it. They're going on.
You tweeted them earlier, didn't you, asking about...
Someone replied and said you can't get them other traps anymore. So I don't know, the ones that they said to buy you. Yeah.
You can have anything manufactured. Let's have a look.
Still
too bad.
They're not going up quick enough, are they?
No.
They're definitely not going up quick enough now.
Yeah, because you asked them if they could confirm if the Greyhounds will be racing out the new traps. Then Oxford Stadium replied, as mentioned in our statement last night, there's a transition period where our traps will be replaced. During this period, traps will be constantly monitored. Tests are being carried out frequently to stay ahead of racing. Updates on the new traps will be communicated ASAP. Now, how do you have a transition period where the traps are replaced? Do you replace like one trap at a time or something?
But Tom, the thing is, what you have to understand is there's no governance which says you can't use those traps anymore, therefore you can't run a race meeting. And that's the softly line that we take in this day and age. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see Oxford not have a meeting, but by the same token, I don't want to see a dog get his neck hooked over the traps and get it.
The optics of those 2 dogs that had their head stuck in the trap as they opened in midweek was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
A couple of weeks ago, there was a race with the 1 and the 2, and then Puppy Eats had exactly the same on the inside 2 traps.
Yeah.
But
But it's
we
just,
were halfway
you
out.
know, at the moment, it just seems that these days anything goes because you mustn't lose a meeting, and that again, everyone, like you say, Paul, everyone bangs on about welfare, and yet, hang on, is this not a welfare issue? Because
it stops as soon as you get to that track. Welfare stops, and it starts again when you leave.
Yeah, I've always said that welfare stops at the gate.
Yeah.
How many times do you see surfaces that are not fit for purpose, and
well, Wednesday night at Sunderland, Thursday night at Sunderland was like that. I was there last night. Thursday. Wednesday night. Wednesday night was Wednesday night, and
was out.
Yeah, and the A1 race was won in 28:29 or something. Well, all them dogs can do a minimum of 27:70. I mean, she got bothered. She can do 27:50, but she came out well enough for her, and I thought, she'd lead him now. Couldn't pick her feet about the ground. I don't know what it was about the surface. She come off, went to see her, covered from head to foot in sand, but it just didn't look like they could pick the feet out the ground. And there was races. There was races 28:40s, 28:50s. The A1 was 28, like say 29 or something. And they put the going as normal.
Slavinger Tommy went around the 27:47 in trials, and then the A8 was won in 27:90 odd. The dogs are
2 minutes to the off here. Sorry, guys.
That's right.
Just get this race in. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this was the only race I'd done.
Okay.
The 5's going to edge in, I thought, Miss Big Pants, but I just think she's been running at a level that's better than sort of these. That and Lexi, probably the only two dogs that ever run at a level. The rest just look graders to me. Like the 3 probably shouldn't have been accepted without being horrible. The 1's a graded type dog. The 4 I thought similar, and the 6 is taking it. I think the 6 will stay. It's bred to stay. Used to be with Cronin in Ireland, and I think it cost a few quid from the toaster sales, but I just thought the 5 at like sort of 4-1 Betfair. I think it's too big. Like, I mean, especially at the level it's been running at, and you see the dogs the last 2 weeks it's been behind, and they'd be very, very short in here.
Yeah. PL?
Yeah, I thought, again, I'm not a massive fan of 575s at Romford. I just think the form's not as good as the 400 form, and yet I can't stand the camera angle either. I think that's what gets me. I mean, I love Romford. That's how I cut my teeth. I first started greyhound racing at Romford, and obviously it's gone from the other side to over this side. I just can't stand the camera angle, but 575s I always find quite difficult, and I agree with Craig in that if you look at the class dogs in this race, 2 and 5, but I don't see how they win. I don't understand. I don't really get what's going to happen in the race, other than I think one might smash and move off a little bit, but I was really struggling to find out how the race would pan out, and obviously that's quite important when you're trying to find a winner. So it was a pass for me.
I've got an absolutely rogue pick, which is track 1.
Yeah,
we'll have a fun £2 on
17 on the machine, isn't it? On back form 2 would beat them, wouldn't it? But it hasn't been running that well, has it? Did you hear Harkness's? I'll let you do this race.
Jeez,
I'll let you do the race, and then.
Right, this is heat 1 of the Friday night maiden stayers. Tricky race. Off and racing, and Miss Big Pants does get a good start and dominates in the early exchanges. From the 4 now, Tribal Causeway moved into second. On the outside is Silver Spring Rio. So they exit the second turn, and now 4. It is Tribal Causeway that takes over and goes around the 3rd and 4th bends with around about a length and a half lead from Miss Big Pants. A gap developing back to Silver Spring Rio and into the penultimate turn. And 4 with a length or so's lead with 5 snapping at heels. Tribal Causeway from now. Miss Big Pants coming back for more on the outside. Up towards the line. 4 and 5 neck and neck. And 5 gets there right the jam stick. Miss Big Pants for John Mullins and Borowati.
No, it wasn't me. It was Craig.
Oh, that was tricky. Craig. Well done. Well called.
I'll take it, though.
Okay. There you go. Clasp of rouse.
Absolutely.
As I say, I didn't really know how the race was going to pan out. And I must admit, I was a bit disappointed when 5 led and gave the lead up. But...
Yeah. I just think he lacks a bit, though. That's the thing. And it's just been out like sort of out middle type. I fancied it coming back at it, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't certain coming around the last bend.
Did Kushi stick Miss Big Pants up one?
Yeah, one
Yeah,
day toast, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Tom? I think.
Yeah.
Kush stuck her up and she obliged.
Yeah, at a bit of a price.
Yeah, I think it was when you were doing toaster for them.
I think it was. Yeah. I think it was.
I think it's a bit of
I'll try all right. I'll try all right there. 6.
6 will
Yeah,
stay. Will stay further, I think.
Yeah, that's that crack lady breeding, isn't it?
Yeah. I was looking at them. Do you know when they're in the toaster sales? I think they went for. They ended up going for more, but they were on data.
They went for good money, didn't they? Yeah, good money. Yeah.
And I like both of them. I thought they were both well bred, and they'd probably get further. But
well, when you're on about the camera angle, PL, I caught about half an hour of RPG TV last Saturday morning. He was on, I think, Harkness, and they were talking like, when's the new camera going to get put in? And he said, everything's in place, just waiting for SIS to fit the camera. And then he had to throw away a comment of, I don't like it where it is. I don't like it where they're putting it.
Right.
So
how could it be any worse?
Well, I don't know, but they might have worked it. They're putting it worse, mightn't they? And then say, well, you had it in a better position to start with. Who knows? It's SIS at the end of the day. They don't want to give you any help, do they?
If you remember, do you remember when we were punting at Romford? When would that be? In the 90s?
Oh yeah, will be, yeah.
Yeah, and the angle then was the same as the Crayford angle, right high up. You could see everything coming towards you. And then I think what happened was, because I used to when I was working at Elaborate Studios in Harrow, Dave Vincent literally used to live up the road from those studios in Harrow, in Middlesex. Yeah. And I used to go and get I used to work every Monday at Ladbrokes. I used to go and pick my videos up from Dave there. And then, so by the time because there used to be Monday night meetings then, I could get my videos done before I went to the meeting. And he said to me that O'Dowd didn't like the fact that his cameraman was watching EastEnders or something and distracting him, so that's why they put him down on the steps, didn't they? And then there was a low camera. Low camera angle. I mean, it was a low camera angle, but it still went on a little bit of a platform, so it's better than the one that it is now. But it kind of beggars belief, really, that they seem to do everything in their power to stop people having a bet or make it difficult for me. And yet it's a gambling industry and you want surely to take money. I don't get it.
I think saying they're doing it to make it harder for you to pick a winner is giving them too much credit.
I'm not so sure, though.
I think the standards are just dropping in the industry full stop. I went to Sunderland last night. There was meant to be trials before racing. It's been raining all day. And then they go, we're going to test the air at like 4:45. And then they're like, oh, shit, it's flooded. Like, you just can't make it up anymore.
Last Sunday and on the Tuesday, both meetings went off late, didn't they? Because they're putting new TVs and everything in there.
Yeah, they've gone up. Right now.
Yeah, well, they're going to have a Friday night meeting now when the new round of moving the meetings around. They're going to have Friday nights back. So I'm guessing that's why they're putting in all the TVs and everything. But they put them in, and then last Sunday morning, they couldn't get no pictures, so racing was delayed for a while. And then by the Tuesday, they still couldn't get any pictures, so it was delayed again. But
it's comical, like.
Well, it's unreal.
John Dixon on the chat. Hello, John. Been looking forward to this all week. Lost my bank card yesterday. Can't make a deposit. Cheers, PL, for the tips at Doncaster out of 40 to 1 treble. There was some decent tipping in there, PL.
It wasn't bad, was it? You said do it on the Watchalong. I did it on the Monday. I'm just a streaming. I thought I'd do it myself, just out of boredom, really, more than anything else. And all of a sudden, Tommy says, "Do it on the Watchalong." I did it on the Watchalong, and actually put points as well for the bets, and it just kind of worked out, really. And
it was really good. You get some really good tipping. Your Nat Blanded, a rake of viewers. It's very good.
Yeah.
So, we tried doing a Doncaster midweek. It was all right. People generally doing other stuff in the week, but when you put in winners like that together, I think there could be a bit of a cult following.
I think you could get away with doing it like it's been done, like a preview to racing rather than necessarily a watch along. It just gives people access to it where they can go, I can duck in and out of it, and
what like Davey B's doing with his bringing his AI show back.
Exactly. Yeah, I think people like that sort of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
It's
good. I think the promotion on social media really is important. Like there's been big races I haven't even realised were going on until I saw like a tweet on the day.
And when you think
Select Stakes this year, I didn't realise that was on until like 2 days before.
And the Oaks as well has been going on. And to be fair, I did watch some of the stuff on the At the Races last night, and they did cover it. To be fair, but sometimes you can wait for a race, it just doesn't appear. And you just think, hang on. But you can tell even some of the lads. I mean, Tim was on there last night, and I used to work with Tim at Ladbrokes, but he's kind of a bit limited with dogs. He's more of a horseman, and some of the stuff they say sometimes you think you scratch your head and you think, I'm not really too sure whether you're giving a really good understanding across to the public, even though that majority of it might be a horse race public. I don't, or viewers, I don't know, but I think there's an art to it to getting people to get involved with greyhound racing, really, because this is what Harry Finney always says to me. It's the gambling sport of greyhound racing is just the best gambling sport. There's 6 dogs, and it's just so simple. Rather than be a 20 runner handicap at Doncaster or something, or Cheltenham or whatever.
Well, the thing is, though. This is what I've always found with it is, like, Fred's turnover on average 4.2 million a week. Of that profit is probably like 550,000, 600,000. That's just in retail as well. That's all it is. But there's just such a disdain for the sport where they're taking out £30 million a year retail, and they're willing to put absolutely nothing back into it.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
It just doesn't make sense, does it? It just
no.
It doesn't.
It's all minuscule. They could put 50 grand back into sponsoring.
And it would just snowball. And this is why the Australians do so well, and this is why I think their betting industry does really well.
We'll never be Australia because the way they bet's different. The way our tracks are owned, I don't think we can ever undo. It is just a different proposition.
Only what Craig just said there, though, Tom, is that they're actually putting something back in it to keep it snowballing with the interest, because it's a bit like you're always going to see the romance of the FA Cup. Well, if you created some kind of derby type competition that wasn't just the derby, if you get what I mean, then you'd get that interest.
I think what this sport lacks is the narrative and the storytelling of being able to kind of develop household names and dogs you see in competition after competition. You have your favourites, you follow them. Your Farlow Tangos, your Ballymac Eskies, your dogs like that capture people's imaginations and they want to tune in to watch. And we don't have that. If you went and asked 100 people on the street to name a greyhound, I reckon 50 of them would say Ballyregan Bob or Skirlow Champ. Miller. Yeah. And the other 49 wouldn't know any.
Yeah. The problem you've got is that they're not all covered. So like when the Sky Days were there, it's like every competition had their Sky Night, and you could follow these dogs across the year, and you go, oh fucking hell, I've seen that run. Yeah. That one wherever on 2-3 weeks ago. Whereas now it's like the Oaks are on RPGT on Sky Racing, and then one competition's on Racing Post TV. So you're not getting the same audience tuning in. And they miss the dogs. And when they say like they win the Oaks, and they're like, well, is that any good? Because there's no.
And it is, but you're right, because of the contractual agreements, if you like, you're not even going to get Racing Post TV showing what happened at the Oaks last night. It's it's ridiculous. It's just madness.
You're not even allowed to mention it if certain people are on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
videos and stuff. Who I think is now so Hills Betting TV. Hills Betting TV's improved their new setup, better picture, more greyhound focused presenters. That is what you need. It's also asked whether Tricky can afford a new webcam or what the issue is. Yeah, it's
think it's the light. I don't know why.
It's Halloween.
What
Needs a new light.
was
bulb.
was
LED.
Star Sports sign above the traps at Oxford?
Used to be, yeah.
Let me
But
rewind.
not they aren't tonight. No, they aren't tonight. It's got Graham TV on tonight.
Oh,
I was just wondering.
That's why.
Okay.
That'll be part of their contract of sponsoring the Puppy Cup.
Yeah.
They'll get
That's
the
fair. Well, I just wondered after all the hassle, and then he was getting grief and saying it's not to do with me. Whether he's in the background, he thought, yeah, bollocks of that. I don't mind him above them traps.
Next race at Romford. Anyone done this one? Dare I ask?
I had a quick look. I'll go with the red just to know but get off the front.
Thought this was very, very tough. I don't think the inside duo wanted to be necessarily in 1 and 2. I thought the 6 was a big price at like sort of approaching double digits.
Yep. PL?
Yeah, again, another one, Tom, where I actually thought that Aero Bob had a chance to lead, but I'm on his A1 form at Munmore, just not convinced that it will stay 5.75. But the danger is, if he leads, then does he stop second captain winning? Because I was the same. I thought second captain had a chance. I thought it was better than Beeper's Grace the other day, but never really came home. Hurry Up PJ might be interesting because at least she does stay. So I don't know. Again, it was a big question mark race for me. I couldn't get too enthusiastic.
I thought the 4-dog would stay like. When I watched the videos of that, it just gave me the impression.
That was another angle. And again, 8-1 on the earlies, and now actually, was it about 8 dead now? So that probably tells you that 4 has got a reasonable chance, probably a better chance than a lot of people made earlier on. But it's one of those races. I didn't really know how the race was going to go, Tom. Do you know what I mean? So it's really.
Looking at the early times,
6 in the place market.
Well, just say looking at the early times, the sprints won in 13:29 and 13:24, and Miss Big Pants done 35:25. So the track's obviously flying.
It's quick, it's quick. Yeah.
It's been quick the last few weeks, though, hasn't it?
So what have you done, Tom?
Done the clock, didn't it? Yeah.
Bet 6 a place, Tom.
I think 6 a place is a bet here. This is a much easier race for it. It's been against Carter Bar, Black Girl Sheck.
Yeah.
Ones like that and run reasonably well.
Well, it's there that.
Looks like it will. I think it's one of the 5
think so.
I'm pretty sure it is.
We're going in.
Yeah, it's one an S2.
Favourite is Beeper's Grace. I'd want to take Beeper's Grace on here, I must admit.
Yeah, so just because of the red moving off and the 3 having early pace.
Maybe we should have placed like Beepers instead. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, there's an option everywhere in the time. You just have to be on the ball. Anyway, Heat 2 at the Romford Stayers. 6-pen contest, 5.75 away and racing. Fairly level line leaving the boxes, and as they sort themselves out, 4's going to poke his head in front here. Droopy Stairway has got to the front. Trouble at the back for 3, 5 and 6. Droopy Stairway moves off a true line out the second bend, but still has a 3-length cushion over second captain, who's in second spot. Then in behind these comes the 2, that's Beeper's Grace, into the 5th turn now. And it's 4, Droopy Stairway, a massive, massive price, and has a massive, massive lead. Round the last 2 turns, it's 4, just edging off a little bit this time, getting a little bit tired in the closing stages, but it doesn't really matter because he's got an absolute big lead.
Mention Hoovers. Go on, mention Hoovers.
No, that was another one that was just probably mentioned that, didn't we? Just at the off that might have been a bigger price than it should have been.
I always thought that would stay like enough. I thought 6 had the draw. That was the thing. Just probably wasn't good enough to get round.
I didn't see what was second either, Tom, and that would have been a sweat at the end for laying 2, isn't it?
2 look like it's going to get up, and they just had a badge and match a hole running, and one's just outstayed it for second or outbumped it for second.
Yeah, it got a bit messy at the first bend. The 3 dogs got put out of the race. Yeah, that was a bit disappointing. I suppose 4, we could have had a little Rod Labour on that, but never mind.
Yeah.
I wasn't really strong in that race, I must admit.
No. No, if it wasn't Watchalong, I'd have just left that race alone. To be honest.
As Bomber would say, it's not called Puntalong.
Very true. That would be a better name, though.
It would. Can we get this changed and like still keep like the sort of the same
Puntalong. The problem is that it's got an alternative meaning. That so.
The definition is you have to have a fucking bet while you're watching along, otherwise you cannot tune in.
Yeah.
Should I tell this? No, I'm not going to tell a story. I'm
Oh, yeah,
tell a story. I'm not telling it. I'm not telling it. It's too early in the night. Got to get at least past the watershed.
This next race is horrible. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know this. How's she not better around there?
I can't believe the level of turnover you get from the dogs. It's just unbelievable.
It's frightening.
You could keep the shops open just on the dogs.
Just to put nothing back in those abysmal, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's like had been annoying me, like, you know, with the game and stuff. And I just think they have no idea what. I mean, that's just Fred's. I mean, what are Hills making? Like, Hills probably have as many shops. You know, you've got Ladbrokes, Coral. There's just so much money going out at the end, and they'll have better online features than Fred's do. Because I mean, Fred's online is fucking shite. Like, you know, it is like you couldn't use the app. Like, anyone who punts with Fred's online, they want a medal. Like, because it's very, very poor. But they just keep taking out, and they're not. There's no like. Everything's just now like sit in the middle, and no opinion on dogs, and all they want to see it as is betting on the show, and even like the big races, they just treat them with the same sort of meaning as an A7 round Crayford on a Saturday. That's what they get out of it. They don't get any more out of the big races because
it's
there's
crazy,
no
isn't it? It's crazy. It's just lost the. That's what it's lost the bookmaker versus punter mentality. It's just a figures and stroke numbers game. It's crazy.
Well, they're not bookmakers. They're accountants, aren't they?
Yeah, it's mental because the sport is more than that, but it's been controlled into that. And I even with the SIS stuff, I kind of think that there should be more effort put into prices. I think there should be more care taken on that. I think they should be encouraging people to have a bet, and not just this model where you sling prices out, people have bets, and then when they think they're second best, they close the accounts. I don't really get that. I don't really get how you can sustain a business doing that, and that's the disappointing thing for me. That I think when you say about will never be Australia, Tom, I actually do think that although in general terms Australia was always considered as a sort of tote way of betting, there are so many bookmakers now, including Ladbrokes and including Bet365, that will actually issue prices, and I think more and more like there's firms such as Top Bet in Australia that actually will employ what they call analysts, i.e. odds compilers, and they will actually issue prices and say, we'll come in and have a bet because they believe in their prices. Now they're not, and this is the other thing is, if I
for a certain amount as well, don't they?
If I was Betfred, I'd be getting Craig and his colleagues to literally price up the evening racing. Don't be worrying about 8 o'clock in the morning at Suffolk Downs and the afternoon meetings. I'd be where there's televised betting. Say there's our prices now. Come and have a go, because we believe in and we're going to issue prices to 127 or something like that. You've got some kind of chance doing that.
Problem is that there's no belief in any price. That's the issue you've got, is the they don't want to, they're not bothered about believing in the price because they just want everything to be like a bags machine. They're not interested in you if it's an open race because they don't see any more money for an open race. If it's on Racing Post TV, they see no more money in turnover. Yeah. All it is the RPG TV stuff is just an online thing. You know, we don't see anything in the shops anymore. Like it's like when the big finals used to be on, you used to see like the Derby final, we'd hold a fucking right few quid on that. But, you know, even on like your Derby meetings, like your first rounds and that, you're seeing fractionally more money. You know, there's not, everything just gets lost in the turnover of the show prices and what's happening very, very late on because.
Does anyone ever try to understand why that is, Craig?
Oh, I've tried to explain to them and I've tried to tell them that these markets can be bent, what people are trying to do to them, and they just go, we just want to sit in the middle, and you're just like, well, your fucking funeral, like, crack on, you know. But
didn't you get accused of manipulating the market, Tricky?
Sorry?
Didn't you get
accused because I was sticking arbs up. I was sticking arbs up on the exchange, and basically Sky Bet had bots, and I was going in and having £30 Yankees and taking £8,000 for a cash out because I was sending dogs from like 8 to 1 into 4 to 5. It's fucking. That's how fickle the market is, though.
Exactly. That's a really good word. That is how fickle the market is, Craig. I do agree with it. It is fickle, and but this is what I'm saying. No one gives any credence to greyhound racing because they just want it to be that bingo numbers game. Yeah. So therefore, there's nothing promoted, even though there's a big battle between SIS and ARC. ARC want to blow SIS out the water, and yet they have it on at the races, which is a massive, massive medium, and then they go, oh, we might show it, we might not show it, we might show some whatever fields racing is on the horse racing, and so that no one's interested in particularly. But for some reason, there's more turnover. Maybe it's the American market. I don't really know, but
it's a shame because everything works for horse racing, and then they go, well, we'll use that because it's a form of racing. We'll just thing that we've got for horse racing, where you know, like the algorithms and stuff, they work with weights and going left-handed and stuff like that. They don't realise greyhound racing just doesn't play to that tune.
No.
You know, you cannot use algorithms to price. You can do it to, you know, and you can be within a point or two maybe. But, you know, you can't compensate for how much time do you take off for a dog taking a bump at the bend? What, 0.3, 0.4? What do you take off? Who knows?
The prices are, don't you say manipulate them?
Yeah,
if you've got a marked account where you're allowed nothing on and you get your maximum bet the dog, you know you could
just do it on Betfair. Just create an ARB on Betfair.
What I'm saying is, we've done it when you bet something else in the race early doors in the hope that your dog then won't get bet because something else is being gambled on, and the closer it gets to the race, the more you can get on. So then you can get on, and Betfair might even follow them sort of prices or whatever. And you can get a decent bet on, but it's amazing how you can put 20 quid on something at 3 to 1 and within 20 seconds it's 6 to 4.
Yeah.
But look at
you're changing the market. You're changing markets for £20.
I find it mad as well how you have the bookmakers market all day, which barely moves, and then as soon as the exchange market opens, the prices just go.
Well, they're all just controlled by bots as well, and they're all front running bots. So if you try and 6 minutes before the off, if you try and bet 6.8 a dog, and you put in 6.4 for 40 quid, you can just watch that go down to 5.8 because the bots are just tracking it all the way down, and something's got to give with it because there's that many people out there now manipulating all the prices, and like the bookies at some point are going to have to go, well, we need to go full circle here because it's not sustainable the way that they're doing it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of mug business, but someone's going to hit them very, very hard. You know, someone much cleverer than me, and they're going to figure out a way to get, you know, stupid prices in a Canadian, and they could clean up for God knows how much.
Yeah, then you have to produce blood cells and DNA to get your money out.
True enough as well.
But like Coney when he's on here, and the biggest bullshit to go on about our traders price up the markets and all that.
In fairness, though, they get 3 minutes a race. I couldn't do it. Like I said, they'd be much better off. Like PL said, just forget graded racing. Just price up open racing where you've got a chance.
And that the graded
or
racing,
the televised racing, Paul. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
and
saying.
it's-
Because and let's get it right, Craig. When we had Sky Racing, the markets on the exchanges were massive.
Yeah, they were
enormous, absolutely enormous. But I
the
don't.
markets in the day was solid enough as well, though. If you saw something go 7-2 to 6-4, 7-4, you'd be like, "Well, that's taking a few quid," because you could probably go into a shop and have a 3,500 to 1 because it's a Sky night.
Yeah.
Now you cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, they get 3 minutes a race, 365 compilers. Like, I mean, people sleep on that, but they do try and form the market. They're the only ones doing it.
Yeah,
If
they
they
are.
do
Yeah.
But when you look at it, it looks more like they're just doing cut and paste of the racing post prices and seeing which one gets bet, and then that one gets bet, the price gets chopped, and you haven't got an account the next day.
That's the problem.
Well, you haven't got an account before it's actually run, really.
It's obviously working for them as a business model, though. That's why the issue is.
I find that hard to believe, though, Craig. That's what I'm saying. I really, on a long-term basis, I find that hard to believe.
They will have a million customers chinned that they could probably play. Jesus Christ, is that filmed on a potato?
Yeah.
What?
It's not that bad.
It doesn't look right. Maybe it's just my screen here. I don't know.
No, it went everywhere. Look, yeah.
There was a long delay before the start there. Then whoever was starting the race, the trap sprinted off at the last second. Don't know what went on in that race.
See the thing that Toasted, the guy got knocked over.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
What a boy!
If he stood still, he would have missed him, wouldn't he?
They definitely. I tell you what, they're definitely. I don't care what you say. They're definitely not opening properly. They're not opening quick enough.
Oh no,
they're not.
I'm not.
They're not.
Everybody can see it. But we had this argument with him at Toaster, didn't they? Everyone was putting up when them dogs were getting hung up in the traps at Toaster.
Yeah.
And they were defending him to the hilt and everything, the normal, like you say, the cult. And then eventually they changed them. But I mean, Suffolk Downs, when that opened, it was going to be over whatever distance in the 6 bend races. You haven't had a 6 bend race yet, have you? I don't think you've got any traps for them.
No.
He promised the owners to put dogs in, we'll have a big opening night and we'll do open race on a Saturday and stuff. Nothing like that's ever happened either.
No. I think, as I say, I think it's just fulfilling these media rights contracts, basically.
Oh, that's definitely all it is, yeah.
It's a shame because there's a market. You know, you saw the first night when people went, and even the week after, and that Dylan went down. And he just said it was unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I said exactly that. In the first 2 nights were 7:30 start Friday, 7:30 start Saturday. Ben Keith was moaning and groaning that there was only 8 races on the Friday night, which I personally have to say I don't see a problem with that.
Perfect amount, really.
I don't see why. Don't see why there's a problem with that. And the greyhound community never supported Kevin. Well, that's a pile of shite because he rushed to get the meeting there started and had to have invitation races and some trainers had 3 in the one race. But the next weekend was cancelled because the Queen died, and then the weekend after that, Racing Post TV sponsored a race. Lo and behold, it was a 6:17 start. And I just think, well, hang on. You have the Irish Derby, and Shelbourne normally have their first race at 7:45, 8:00, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And during the Derby, they went, all right, so you could have it at 7:15 for the first race. Racing Post TV didn't moan about that. SIS didn't moan about that. And yet, with Kevin Boothby, they say, no, you've got to open at 6:30. Well, that's going to impact on his attendances because people can't get back from work, jump in the shower, get ready and get to the track in that time. So therefore, his attendance figures are going to suffer. And you heard everyone and his wife say, there weren't that many people here as the opening 2 nights. Yeah, well, that was because you opened at the first race was 6:30 or whatever. So why don't they? If it's good enough for Shelbourne Park, why isn't it good enough for Oxford?
Well, tomorrow night is
Race meeting starting at 6:09 is fucking mental.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's
It's not like
brain
there's not enough racing in the schedule to fill in up on that time until you get into evening meetings. It's just
Exactly.
mad.
It's not
Well,
just
Shellball's
right saying about all this.
tomorrow night. Shellball's on tomorrow night when it starts at 7:15.
Yeah, well, people want us to stop.
But that's
It's on RPG TV tomorrow night.
The only reason it's 7:15, Paul, is because it's on Racing Post TV.
Oh, yeah, I know. It starts about 20 to 8, doesn't it?
It would be 7:45.
Yeah. Well, that's
So at least they compromise, but they don't. But they don't sell their souls to the devil by having a 6:09.
We're going to start
the point I'm making.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm saying, but it's on tomorrow night on RPG TV, 7:15. So if they can do it for them, why can't they do it for other tracks?
They can, but it's just that Oxford.
Exactly. Why don't they start? Why don't they start the racing at after 7:00? If you want to have your program at 6:00 and have all the Julie Collier kennel visits leading up to that, then do that. It's fine.
Or just have some analysts on and just have some chat about the card coming up.
Exactly.
Well, it's the appetite, isn't it?
I don't understand the route that would take.
It also depends who's on, if they can actually talk about the card for an hour.
True. No, that's true though. It is.
Yeah. Oh, stop.
Thoughts on this race? 2 in it for me.
I think 3. Especially at the prices.
Yeah, I'm 3 as well. And I've got to tell you, I cannot resist having a little small bit on 6 because of the draw. She's got a massive draw.
Well, we're well covered now.
Well, I'll add another one to it because the Yarmouth dog, it's breaking 28 round Yarmouth in a race like this. She was a what?
She was a very good bitch on Newcastle. Stewie had her, and she just wasn't staying it. She looked like she was going to be class round Romford, and she's never picked a field round.
Yeah, just if it the lid suit, I think it would, but I know a different thing with the traps and everything, but I think it's definitely fast enough to win the race if it came away.
Oh, she's got proper speed here to the corner, like, and she's just never done it round Romford though. That was the weird thing about her. You'd think, looking at her, you go, that'd be her track.
Yeah.
And she's just never done it.
I've had a bit more on 3, Tom. So I think we should win with 3s.
Yeah.
2's going to go straight to the fence as well. Like, just come away here, the 3, and I think it'll hold the 4 to the corner. I think that'll be that.
Yeah,
so I don't think we've got massive early.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah, I did.
Biggest surprise here was the favourites. The Reds bet 5-2 to 7-4 in the industry robbery, and the 4 dogs actually gone out, so they haven't shortened them both up.
Mm.
Which is a rare event.
You're getting, significantly better prices here on the exchange.
Well, it's always a winner.
Here we go then. Need a good break from 3 really to try and dominate. Wave the flag. Let's talk about safer gambling standard. Her approaches. And away and racing and 3. Chelms Marley gets a real smart start and shows pace into the turn and grabs the lead from the red dog. Just run off a true line there, Slider McCoy, but turns in second spot and down the far side. White Jacket of Chelms Marley kicks into a 2-length lead into the third turn ahead of red. Slider McCoy trying to edge closer along with the 4 Lamorna Ollie as they swing off the last turn. 3 is in control here and up towards the line. Will go on and score. Makes all 1 for the good guys. Chelms Marley wins it for Gemma Evans.
Nicely done. Good price, that.
Yeah. I think one ran in the back of it in the corner. That's why it sort of moved off. I think it just...
Yeah. It had that line of form where it had done the 375 section and 23.99, which would win, obviously, 90% of races.
Yeah.
But the last few runs hadn't quite been there. But obviously,
the break. And
there
got the break at the middle box, really, Tom, didn't you? That's the thing. So
Didn't it win the first round of the Puppy Cup when it done that time? Or was it a trial stake for the Puppy Cup?
Trial stake, yeah.
Very well done.
Ball's ran okay, considering it's from where it's come. But on that going and you get a break like that, don't expect to get picked up, do you?
No.
Hey, lovely.
It was an interesting GB calendar today, wasn't it? A lack of information in it.
Yeah.
It's a comic. Have you seen the Doncaster Opens, by the way? £100 to the winner. Must be a
What?
typo.
No.
Honestly. £100 to the winner, £40 run money.
For opens.
Yep.
When are them next Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, a standard and a 480 standard and a 450 standard.
Just turn the
I
lights
thought
off.
there was a minimum thing of £200 for an open.
No, I think it's got to be a typo. It's got to be 240 run, but why would anyone go there for £40 run money? Pathetic, man. They'd be better off just making it like £400 to the winner.
Yeah, that's right.
Winner takes all. You get nothing for coming.
Yeah, well, that's what you
The
do
Irish model.
Well, that's what you used to do when you went. That's what happened when you used to go flapping, isn't it? You put your money in, you went there, put your £50 in or whatever, and the winner got the £250 or something.
That's it. So you pays your money, takes your chance.
Yeah, and then you don't get dogs that shouldn't be in the races going as well a lot of the time. People will go with decent dogs and that maybe so they can win a few quid.
So you bought a nice dog, Tricky.
Well, yeah, he's settled in okay on that, and yeah.
For those viewers that don't know, it is the Bold Freddy, and you've paid a few quid for him, haven't you, Tricky?
Yeah, he set me back 15 large, which is not ideal. Took some telling the missus like.
Was that your Born Warrior winnings?
It was, yeah. So that's what I put it down to. I've just said that Nelson's paid the old paid the bill for that, but yeah, he trialled at Nottingham Monday. Did 18.24 apparently. He looked lost, to be honest, around the first and second, and
that happens at Nottingham. Yeah,
it was thing. He was like one of them. It was untimed as well, and I timed it, and I got it to 18.11. And I did a video comparison, and he was 2 lengths behind the Gravy Dog. So, and he's probably left that on the track. So he's going again Monday. He's been checked over this week by the physio, and yeah, he'll go to Notts Monday for a free dog.
What are you aiming him at?
The Eclipse. Yeah, that's going to be the plan for him. And
he's gone for. I was talking to the owner's son of what's the one that won the Puppy Cup. I can't think of his name now. He was favourite at Sheffield last week and got beat. Put it in the orange.
Richie.
Yeah, he's going for the Eclipse. I thought he might have gone to Sunderland, but they're going for the Eclipse with him as well.
Yeah, I can understand why though. I think his early pace is better suited. Round there, he'll just have been with too many early pace types.
That's it, yeah. It's again, and also there'll probably be a lot of railers getting the final there as well. Right, Nottingham, he won the select, didn't he? So he runs the track well and everything. So yeah.
That's it. I mean, you'd imagine that Kildare will tip up there as well, won't you? Who's now Mr. Chelm, is it?
Yeah, Chelm. Yeah.
Has he been bought?
Yeah. Lee Harris bought him for, I think he'd give 42,500 for him.
Did you not know that, Tom?
No, I didn't. No, I knew he was up for sale, but I didn't know he'd been bought.
Yeah, no, he was bought, I think, on the Friday before the Irish Derby final.
He got to keep the plate money as well.
He won the final the next night, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got to keep the prize money as well.
Yeah.
As part of the deal, which was decent. To be fair, he don't look a bad purchase, because I mean, everyone slagged him off and said oh, it's too much and that, but he's a natural progression to Droopy Sydney at stud.
Yeah, we were staying at Buckley's that week, and Pat said that's a good buy. And Pat would know, the reasonable value of dogs over there, and he said he would have no qualms in paying 50 for him.
Yeah.
Well, he won the Derby final last year, didn't he? He was only a young dog, wasn't he? So you'd think it'd be better this year.
Yeah, he's another year in him. So that's kind of what he's in as well. He's a July thingy. He's a next year kind of dog, really.
Yeah. If they train him to be a Derby dog and just pick and choose the proper races for him, then he'll have that season next season. Because
It'll
to
be
be fair, this is something that I was talking about probably over the last few weeks, and since I've been talking to Pat. I think sometimes as well, when you've got a young dog, and he was a young dog. He was in the Kirby, and they were his only races in the Kirby. The Kirby is an £80,000 competition that is such a strong competition, and I think above all as well, this year it was an even stronger. It was probably the strongest competition I think I've ever seen in a Kirby.
I think it's the strongest competition by the Derbies, the Kirby.
Yeah, and this what I'm saying is this year, Paul, that it was probably the best ever Kirby.
Oh yeah,
and he was in that.
Wasn't it? Swords Rex, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bally the Ball Red and him, and even Droopy's Edison, and he broke the clock.
Oh yeah, this week didn't he in Ireland?
Yeah, so that's how strong that comp was, and I just think really, you just don't want to bottom him out, Craig, do you, by doing too much with him? Because I think that sometimes people don't realise how much it takes out of a dog when they go in a 5 and 6 round competition.
That's it.
To peak at
the
the supreme athletic.
That's why you get away with it more over here, because there's not as many 4-round competitions. It's a lot of 3-rounders, isn't it? And you can get away with doing that, taking a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
and that's what we've kind of thought with Fred, and we've gone, well, aim him at the Eclipse, give him plenty of looks around the track. All being well, he goes and it does okay. Then next target will be All England Cup at Newcastle. After that, he'll be going away for probably 6 to 8 weeks minimum, and then he'll be trained next year at the Derby, and everything will lead up to that. And and I'd imagine Kildare will be the same.
If you train a dog properly, you've got a good open race dog. You have to target competitions, don't you? Just turning up every week, running them is just going to kill them in the end. They're never going to. You can't be at that level every week.
You can't get them to peak. No, I think that's the art of training, really. Yeah.
Well, you look at Buckley dogs, like they go into the first round and they're not where they'd be, say, come the third and fourth round, they're hitting where they should be. Like, you can't go into it like fully tuned up, because if you go into it like the first round, your final, you don't hold up for 6 weeks. It's not just 6 weeks; it's 3 weeks prior trialing.
It's why if you've got a dog that is going to make the final by some miracle, they're the ones where you can win an early round at a decent price, because you can have them eyeballs out, while you're running against dogs that aren't going to be on. But you have a chance of getting the dog, win the race at a decent price against good dogs.
Like what the bitch is doing now, like Krikoro, by carrying, she'd come out of the Corn straight into the Derby, and then straight into the 600 comp. It's a stayer, and it's a bit different, but it takes some doing that, mind.
Oh yeah,
I think she could be probably an exception to every rule, though, Craig, because of the fact that she is the staying type of ground. She's just a complete competition bitch, isn't she? She's just
to keep a
so good.
15, 16 weeks on the trot. Yeah. When they're running at that sort of level, in that sort of form, to keep her there just really is some going.
But then when you look at it, they're sort of, they are coursing type people, really, aren't they, Dividends? And that's severe. I mean, like getting your dog to Clonmel, that is a severe test of a dog. Do you know what I mean? So they know how to get a dog to perform through a grueling competition, which is, I think, is a bonus, is a plus.
I think that's one of the why there's dogs now aren't as tough as what they are, because they've took that sort of course of bloodline out of a lot of the breeding.
Those coursing dogs are magnificent looking.
Oh, they're unbelievable!
Huge dogs.
But like you
said, that was the best thing when me and Lorraine went to Clonmel, and we went down to where they sort of paddock the dogs. There's all sort of vans and all that sort of thing, but there's almost like stables. And we saw Jerry Hollian with one of his dogs massaging the dog. He was sweating his bollocks off. The way he was putting all that effort into getting that dog to really just get his muscles flowing, get all the blood flowing in his system, just to peak for the next round. Because that, when you think about over here, Craig, as well, is when you're training a dog and you're kind of close to that. We get, you know, now obviously a 4-day gap. Those coursing dogs have literally got sometimes 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
whatever, 3 hours.
Some of the competitions are doing like 2 courses in 1 day or whatever at that level.
Exactly.
And you're patching up you can be patching up
Exactly.
niggles as well, can't you? You know, it's unreal what they do with them.
Harry's dog was on a drip on it, I think, before the final of the Big Fella Thanks, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He said he was on like a drip or something overnight.
So. Yeah.
A lot of them do that with
It
them.
wouldn't eat, would it?
No, it's fucking mental. Like, you know, you think.
Yeah.
The
Just,
sort
I
of,
mean, the coursing dogs are just such hardy animals. It's just incredible.
You get acidosis, so can, and then they're screwed. And that's a problem. I try to put them on the drips.
they're bred to be durable, I suppose. Like that's
the
kind
thing.
of what they're there for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're in profit for the first time this evening, which is nice. How are we going to spend this profit, PL?
I'm 3 over 6 here, Tom.
4 over 6.
Sorry, 4 over 6. Correct. You were listening.
What a 6 timer this. Fucking hell.
I make 4 favourite in this. I think 6 is very short. But
It's safe to say it was a good thing in that other final it was in when it was in the 8. I couldn't believe it was odds against. It was odds against as well in the morning. But
I like the red place here, by the way.
It's got great early pace. Well, by some miracle, I saw the race with the red last time. They managed to get itself round in front, which you wouldn't have thought was possible on its sectionals over the 6 bends, but can't see that happening again.
No, I just thought he'd run well. Like I thought he could lead the 2, and then I thought the 3 would be away from it, the 4 would be away from it, and I just thought he might tuck in behind him. Like, and 4's going to take a couple of these off the skin. I just thought it'd be a bit of value for the place, like.
But red.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily fancy it winning, but I just fancy it framing up like in the top.
You'd not be running them on you.
Yeah, it's that type of dog, isn't it?
That took off last week as well. The 6.
Yeah. One of them I thought probably relies on getting a good break, but a good draw because I've got 5 moving into sort of 3.5. You know, so can't get a touch really 6. So that's why I made that a danger really on the draw aspects and the fact that has got she's got some kind of leadability factor as well.
Yeah,
she gets a Sunday best break.
Yeah, she's got some lovely early pace.
Yeah.
5's the brother of the bitch we have at Sunderland. She never stops. Who's just getting fatter at the moment.
Aren't we all? 7:36. Trap 6 got a plot draw. Trap 4 running out of its skin. Can get inside the value. Can get inside.
Well, the only the dog that's capable of going thing is 3, isn't it? It's going to have to show some pace to clear 4, the 6 dog, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4's got to have its worst break, and 6 has got to have its best break.
I think if I was not having a bet, but I think I was having a bet in the race at the prices. I think I bet 3 and 4, not one of them 2 went bingo.
I'm going to bet the red in the win more.
4 should lead 3 to the bend 8 times out of 10.
It's just 3 is capable of going to smash itself, and it's got the inside draw on it, like, hasn't it? But this has just never stopped like a proper win machine since, well, it should have been the grade it was in, man. But
yeah.
It's been turned over at big prices though in the A8s. Like it's not like it's been chucked in, is it?
That just suddenly clicked, isn't it? There's another one there the other day that the same owners have Kong Free, that Paul and Rachel. There's one the other day in an A8. It's done 24.50 odd, I think, something like that, in an A10. If you do that, you do that on a trial, you'd be running A2, wouldn't you, or A3 best.
Yeah.
And put up 2 grades, got beat the first time in the 8, and then it took off your day on 24.40 odd. So I've got a feeling it might now end up being like this one hasn't banged up about 4 grades. Got some strange times at Romford when you see some of them times that the low grade dogs do. You know they can't win when they go up because they can't lead. You know what I mean? When it's like Crayford, isn't
They
it?
can't do the
Like
time.
Crayford,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, they just haven't got the pace to get round or whatever. But
Yep. The 3 got just as much pace to bend than the 4. The fault with the 3 is a bit flat-footed at the boxes on occasion.
it's just capable of going ping, isn't it? That's the thing. It's got
Yeah.
the 3 box.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. True. Yeah. It has
Yeah,
got
But if it doesn't, if 3 doesn't come away and 4 traps like it's gonna, well, 4 just got to solo up the bending, hasn't it?
Yeah, I just think 4's the more clockwork breaker and when
without a doubt, yeah.
Got the decent.
But I just think if 4 gets off the front, it'll win, and then but the only dog that could get in its way is 3. So
fair
6 is going to have a lot of work to do to clear
to
4.
carry them both. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Going in.
All aboard the red. Bingo prices.
Big price.
It's a little bit too big in an A3. I mean, it's complete outside of the field, and it's beat 2 of them last time out.
By the way, I think it's a really good idea. £500 the winner. It's for your A3, A4 dog. Competitive as well.
Well, this has already won one, hasn't it? They won the A8 one. That's
good luck.
The 4 dog.
Has run in.
Double elastic. Come on, you fucker.
And away and
bingo.
racing, and 6 has broke smartly. Hazelwood Alarm leads into the turn and gets first jump on the 4 XV Delta. And then in behind these comes Kong Free down the far side. 6, 4, 5 order 3, 1 and 2 languishing at the back round the last 2 turns. And Hazelwood Alarm with a 4-length cushion over XV Delta up towards the line. 6 makes all and claims the monkey in style. 6-4 the result.
No real harm done, but disappointing all the same.
Yeah, it was on the break, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gone. 4's probably the worst it's ever trapped for, and it was recently, anyhow.
Yeah.
Trying a good race. Now
traps.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
If they break level 4 leads, it's send off. So.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't. Like you say, well, go up and grade now, though, won't it?
Yeah. We're in Sheffield tonight. Rich Parkins tried to get a trial for his bitch this week. He sent it 3 times to the track, and all 3 times they've not managed to trial. Fucking the Hers snap tonight. He sent her 3 times. Unbelievable.
It snapped a couple of weeks ago, didn't it?
That's a mess.
Well, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but if you've got like the hair trap going all the way around, and it's a wire that snaps, is there any reason you couldn't have a spare wire run underneath?
Yeah, that's what they used to do. Yeah, definitely they should.
I just don't understand why you can't have a spare wire in, and just might take you 15 minutes to fit that wire, and not have to pull one in or anything.
Yeah, but that's what that'd be called like preparation, wouldn't it? That wouldn't happen in this game.
It's not the way of the sport.
I mean, it was the other Tuesday it snapped, didn't it, in the first round of the 3 steps, and that to cancel the meeting. So surely you learn by that you're having a spare one just in case.
No, you just let it carry on happening, and then just go. There's nothing we could have done, and let people keep turning up to tracks and wasting time. Like they're idiots though, because people will go there, and then that'll happen, and they'll just go, "Well, I won't go back again."
Yeah,
because it'll spoil the night.
Well, that's twice in the space of 10 days. It's happened now. Then
it's happened at trials on Thingy. They cancelled trials on Tuesday. Sorry, not Tuesday, on Monday maybe, or whenever it was. It's happened a few times. It's embarrassing.
Seems to be a feature of the tracking at the minute.
I mean, look at Thingy last night. Like, I mean, the Her was flooded before Thingy last night, and it's like shock. It's been raining for like 7-8 hours straight. Like,
I tell you what, it was absolutely hammering it down as well. It wasn't just rain; it was biblical.
Oh, I know, I was there. Like, and just it's comical. It really is. It's so the standards of the sport at the minute, and the people running these tracks are just
assholes.
Well, yeah. And they're paying people £9.50 an hour. Like, what do they expect?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it's pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Bet Fred should know that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just so frustrating. Really, really frustrating.
It's a mad game, isn't it? But again, what do you do? We're all addicted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Too late.
I know. Oh, don't.
I'm going for an opulent dinner this evening. I've got some lager and a pack of after eights.
All right.
I think that sounds like a fair enough diet.
Yeah.
Very well
All
balanced,
the
that.
food groups covered, except all the ones that are good for you.
Can't beat after eights though. Awesome.
It's only 7:40 as well.
Ah.
Oh, there's time yet for a takeaway later on then.
Should order a Domino's and a Papa John's at the same time. We can bet on which one arrives quicker.
What's happened? You've ordered a pizza?
Just sticking to these.
No. What kind of a dinner is that?
That's a snack, innit? That's more. That's fuel for the pizza later on. That is.
Mrs. P always gets away with a sandwich on a watch-along evening.
That's what. To be fair, that's what I had about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I'll be having something afterwards. I'll probably cook something.
We start too early for dinner, so I never really fancy it that early. And
Yeah,
then it gets
exactly,
to this
yeah.
point, I'm absolutely starving.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried to eat a pizza on here once and just got abuse for eating like a
I remember
pig.
that,
And
yeah.
I was eating like a pig, but I was hungry.
Is it the Racing Post final tonight of the puppy collar thing, or is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
Or is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
See, that's another bad thing, isn't it? I don't even know when the final of that is.
No, I've been following that comp. It's a really good comp. Really
The
good.
dog, Rob's dog, looks a superstar, doesn't
Which one?
he? That from pillar to post.
Oh,
No, that's tonight. The Irish one's tomorrow night.
Yeah, the Irish one as well. Like I thought Bogger Hunter in that 8-1 was far too big.
So did I.
I made him about
that was my pick, Craig. That was my one pick, and then I got onto 3 cannons, and she's in the final. She was 33, so I just couldn't get on her.
8-1 that in the final. Like I just think it's huge. I'm like 4-1 to 100%. Like really.
Yeah.
When I did the race, I don't fancy Trinity Junior from that draw.
I like him, and all. I think he's a nice dog.
The kid who owns him, he sent a few dogs over to Stu, you know, that they bought. Trinity Eston, Trinity Marshall. Trinity Marshall's his brother, actually.
Right.
And so we spoke to him about trying to get him over, and and he wants to retain a share. And he said, "Oh, you can have the dog for I think it was 30 grand. He keeps a 25% share." He said, "But we want to keep him with Cronin." I was like, "Well, that's no fucking good to us."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, can't wait to run him in Ireland.
Yeah.
But he's a lovely dog, him. Like.
He's a nice dog.
Keeps getting him though, Cronin, doesn't he? Like he just lost 2 good dogs from his kennel, and then replaced by like Junior and probably others as well.
Yeah,
that's probably why he sold the other ones, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They don't go for no reason, do they?
Yeah, mind you, he'd be a hard dog to replace Kildare.
No, he would, yes. Handsome.
Hard dog to replace.
Koosh is on.
The trumpets are out, tricky. Right.
How's that? Fuck yeah.
Good to have Koosh on here to cheer home his nap in the next 7:56. He's keen on It's Your Best Mate.
Things we love to see.
Got this Oi Oi Joey at Oxford as well, the Joey Beecham family dog.
I think I backed it last week when it won. It was about 2-1 on Betfair, but it's quite had a big gamble on it.
Yeah.
It moves off though. It moves off, but it's been picking out and then moving
mate.
off.
He does, yeah. He does, yeah.
Quite surprised it's getting rid all the time, but racing manager might not have spotted that it moves off.
No.
Koosh has got another ban from Twitter, I believe.
He has, yeah. He
7 days, apparently.
What for?
he told someone he was going to burn their house down with their family in it.
Oh, right.
It's not really a bit harsh, 7 days, isn't it?
Just a
You'd only get 7 days if you actually burn the house down in this country now. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
6 month on tag. At least he's warned them. Some people just go and do it, don't they? You know?
giving them sufficient time to purchase a fire extinguisher.
Get the
By the
old
way,
metal around the house.
Was that true, that statement, by the way, going back ways?
Not in that race.
No, I didn't think so either. Oi, oi, Joey. Bit of money for Vancouver Port. Don't know who that is, really. Vancouver Port.
One's been back.
Kevin Hunt.
Well,
Well,
Big Kev doesn't mess around.
no.
I wonder if he's got his Real Madrid jacket on tonight.
Oh, they are.
He's bought, I think he's bought 4 pups off
Yeah,
Suther's kennel.
Why do I know Vancouver Port? I know Vancouver Port. Why do I know it?
They ran a Clonmel. Won a race at Clonmel. That's the reason.
Came out and stumbled a bit.
One's going to get beat.
Yeah. You don't want to be in one, that's why.
No.
Yeah, it's got them both beat. The books.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? Is when you want like an 11-4 and an even money chance in the book,
Yeah.
and you can just lay them all and just pray for a result.
Yeah.
Gordon Baker.
645.
Beat David Mullins. That's Billy McMahon's dog, isn't it? Crafty San Diego in second.
Oh, shit.
It was brave at the bend, the 6 wasn't to get across them.
Yeah.
It is a decent track once they manage to
Although
get
5,
out.
That's a lovely track.
well, I was saying that the Red's moving off into 5 and the 3 caught the back of 5 as well.
Yeah.
So it's probably.
Yeah, 5's
unlucky,
moving middle anyway, so it gave 6.
Oh, yeah, 5 doesn't want to be in that wide, but he, like I say, he got his back end took by 3 and then the Red's nosing him as well.
Yeah.
I honestly think Oxford could become the new Romford Friday.
Definitely.
I think it could surpass it quite easily, given where
Get the
it is
trap
in the
sorted out,
country
definitely,
and
yeah.
get the trap sorted out and the calibre of trainers and
Get the Colonel there to commentate. It'd be great.
well, obviously, yeah. If you're on the blue, get in the queue.
I butcher's apron.
If you called the right result in the right dogs, it'd be a start. Never mind all the bullshit.
No, like called Bolivian Brian. I will get I'll let you guess his occupation. Fuck's sake.
Julie Mullins.
Yeah, they always bring the pups so well like them, don't they?
Yeah.
He's done really well. Last few years, he's done really well, David.
Yeah.
Really.
How did Arcadi go on at Central Park the other night? Was it
Missed
Sunday?
the up, finished. Yeah, missed the up and ran on, got 3rd. So it's up the next round.
Yeah.
Ran well considering it didn't lead or anything, because it's Sunderland that was shown blind nearly, wasn't it?
Well, he looked a proper pup at Sunderland, and he just did weird what happened in that final, and then he
Yeah.
obviously went for a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it must have pulled something like that in that final. Take that other fast one they've got when he ran last time and then suddenly ran off right off the track at the second bend, the sprinty dog. It's not been seen since, has it? You can tell it done some
Yeah, BT.
BT dog, yeah.
Fast dog. Really, really fast. Fastest dog I've seen from Romford for a long while. Proper dog.
Yeah.
Have they no guest on tonight? Racing Post.
No. Just
They got outside.
it's the Julie Collier show.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, she's at Romford, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Got the value. We've all got the value with it, your best mate, 6-4.
Yeah.
Can't be getting the value and then crying about it afterwards.
Oh, this is the difference between beans and a takeaway. It's massive. This couche, huge.
Huge.
I was old school sausage, egg, and chips from that, so yeah, I'm all right.
Homemade chips as well.
Hey, nah, Paul.
Homemade chips.
I've got time to be doing made chips when I. If I had, the problem for me is that if I had got a chip pan, I guarantee I'd burn the place down when I fell asleep or something. You know what I mean? If I'd done chips coming in after having a few scoops, so I think it's for the best I don't have one.
Well, the bad news is I did get matched for me 11-4. It's your best mate.
So this race, I think Koosh summed it up quite nicely. The 5 dog wants trap 1, the 1 dog wants trap 3, the 2 dog wants trap 1, and 3 and 4 are the wrong way round. So it could be absolute carnage at the first bend, which leaves it's your best mate to swoop round on the outside.
You know what happens in these situations, though? Something
Gets loose.
Fucking cheat the draw. It always happens. Something will just go double lucky and go and be round.
So what do we think's most likely to get loose? It's not going to be 1 because that's going to be turning.
It can only be 3 or 4, can it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be 5.
Hello?
5's most likely to crash into 4, but then 4 has got a smash.
5 won't be anywhere near 4, Tom.
What?
5's paceless.
Yeah. So probably 4's the most likely to get loose if 6 doesn't swoop round them all.
Yeah, no, I think 4's got as much early as 6. That's my opinion. But
this is your best mate. It feels like it's been around forever.
They've had a few with similar names, haven't they?
I'm sure this feels like it's been around for forever, though.
54 runs.
Yeah, well, there you go. Craig Morris.
Cost of living hitting hard for Stephen Bradshaw. If it loses, I would have to rob from Tesco for the week. Petty theft, not something we endorse on Greyhound Watchalong.
It's not a bad way to go, though. Saves a few quid for the punting.
Go wide, go wide.
Is it? If you eat it before you get to the tiller, you're actually stealing it.
Well, I know one thing: you can't get it back if you've already ate it.
I'd play it safe and say yes.
The worst you can do is buy it out, isn't it? And the prices you want buying out, really. So you've just got to Iceland next door. You're sorted.
If you're trying to eat Iceland food by the time you get out the door,
yeah, well, that's the thing. You can be more
teeth on you.
You be more honest in Iceland, can you? Because there's it's a lot more difficult, yeah.
Who's this being interviewed?
Craig Morris.
Craig Morris.
Oh, of course it is.
Probably better off in 3 instead of being in 4 or 5 and having a wide moving out on you. So the draw looks like it's more than Tom to lose, but you know what Romford like. If you don't come away, you can get beat. So if you can get out and get round the bend out wide, you have the right chance.
And it is a race full of early. That's going to be really important.
Who's got to tell you?
Yeah, me. I just listened to that.
I thought obviously he'd plotted up that Droopy's garden. I was hoping that might have been evens first 3. We had Ladbrokes, but it was 4 to 6.
We're having a bet here, PL.
I think the prices have run away from us to a certain extent. Yeah, I was 4 over 6, but
were you?
I was.
Well,
yeah,
6 over 4. So let's.
I would say bet 6.
Let's just
then.
watch it.
Well, it's up to you. Yeah,
betting 4.
I've got a bit of 4 to 1 the 4 dog, and I try to get the 11 to 4
There
to
was
6
some 11
missed,
to 4
so.
the 6 earlier, which was quite nice.
Yeah. As I say, I thought 3 was a bit big now, but I could see 3 smashing the bars down and cheating the inside. But I think the early pace is 4 and 6.
Yeah, surely got to be lane 4 here, by the way, especially with the 5 wanting red and 3 moving off.
Is 3 moving off?
Yeah, three will turn right.
Okay.
I've been shrewd as fuck here, by the way. Taken 11 of 4, the 6, and
Surely you got to bet the 6 now, then, Tom.
Yeah, I think you're right.
well,
11
Yeah.
4 now, isn't it?
let's double dip as well and get the 4 laid for the balance. Get a proper sweat on.
Okay. I've done that then. I've laid it back now. On my little bet.
What have you done?
Well, I bet 4 at 4 to 1 and so I've just had a little bit of a layback at that price. So.
Fuck, they're betting this like it's like they've got tomorrow's paper. What's going on here? Jesus.
Ford's been backed into favouritism
Yeah, they know.
in a big way.
They've got the result, haven't they, already?
We'll see. We'll soon see.
Interesting. Anyway, good market support here for Clash Duff Rocket for Martin Wiley. Starter waves a flag and the hare runs then for this £1,000 to the winner Friday night standard final. And they're away and racing. And 3 is flashed out and looks to claim the lead with 6 now.
Hey,
hey!
Best mate goes to the front in front of Eau Rouge. And down the far side, 6, about 3 parts clear from Eau Rouge. And it is the 6, it's your best mate. And
Yes.
Eau Rouge has just jumped over the back of that rival. 2 is staying on now. Bubbly Simba up towards the line. 6 with the advantage.
Hey!
It's your best mate has won it
Oi,
from
oi.
Bubbly
Oi, oi.
Simba in second.
So, Kush.
Well done, Kushi.
Yeah, well played, Kush.
No shoplifting tomorrow for him. Good lad.
That's one of
I think he can't help himself, though, so he'll have to at least have a pork pie to celebrate as he walks around.
Not as messy a
disappointed with 4
race
to
as
the bend
many were expecting.
Got
but
that wrong. I apologise there, Tom. Got that
you know
wrong.
what? We got the Reddies, PL.
No, I got the Reddies because the market, hoped to get the Reddies. That's good.
That showed
You
some
reacted.
pace on.
You
That showed some pace.
Tom, you were like a praying mantis there. You just struck at the right time.
That showed some pace down the back, didn't it? The 2 dog to the end of the third corner.
Surprising that. Yeah, I did not expect that.
Yeah, I
I
always think
suppose
there's a
got
reason for that sort of speed, Tom.
24 on the card, but yeah.
But,
Which,
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it.
Bubbly Dodge Pot. Bubbly.
Yeah.
Betty,
Dave
shut up.
Branch, the wrap god is on. What wrap do I have tonight, lads? Chicken or doner? For me, chicken every single time. Doner and a wrap. Attritional towards the end, too salty. So I would, I'd be going chicken.
I'd do both. I'd mix them. Chicken shawarma and doner. That's the way forward.
Yeah.
Bit of garlic mayonnaise and some chili sauce.
Sounds good.
It's got to be
Sounds
done.
really good.
Yeah,
Get yourself a Parmo. Get yourself some good English food. Get yourself a Parmo.
Who you backing, Watty? Are you going Boris or Rishi?
The pair of them. I hope the pair of them are in the same car and it goes over a cliff. Pair of twats.
You've got to have Boris back, haven't you? Just for a bit of banter.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
If nothing else,
It's like something that happened in Italy, isn't it?
The only thing they could have done worse and put that lunatic in charge for the few weeks is put Nadine Dorries in charge. She must have been going mental today at the thought of Boris coming back. Fuck you know.
I'd love to see it though.
With
The return
absolutely doomed as a country. How can so many people vote in the Prime Minister? Or, you know what I mean? The lack of people who voted in for the last 2 or 3 Prime Ministers.
Makes no odds to any of us though, does it?
Well, yeah, it does, because like they said, when they're in, no one else apart from the rich are going to get any better off.
There's just the thing is though, it's like we never see any benefit. We're all fucked anyway because we're all going to be paying back for COVID for God knows how long. We may as well just embrace the madness. Just get Bozza back, get him some Union Jacks, and get him a big thing saying first 2-time PM. Have a bit of crack with it.
Set his hair on fire.
He got back.
That was
I
his-
think he was briefly favourite today, but there's been a poll. No, there's been initial votes. 50% Conservative Party, and Rishi took quite a decent lead. So
Oh, for fuck's sake, now then.
we'll
It depends.
see.
It depends what the vote goes to, though, doesn't it? Because if it just goes to MPs, they'll probably have him in, Rishi. If it goes to the Conservative 80,000 who do the vote, and the chances of Rishi getting in are slim right down, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, Rishi's 4 to 5 at the minute on Betfair. Well, on the exchange.
Tell you what, if it's him and Boris and it's going to go to the Conservative Party voters, that'll flip over that. Boris will definitely be short favourite.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's going to go to.
Most of them
I'd
would
probably suggesting we could talk Greyhound racing instead of politics. Probably got a semi-final at 05 Oxford. Does
Imagine.
anyone
Well,
have a
good
look
luck
at
to-
this race? Anyone in the chat?
Good luck to Joe Andrews, who's lively on trees. Dogs running the lively Lauren. So it'll be good luck to it. Tran well the last few weeks. With Cleese are red, I think that I'll be with that.
You would say Romeo Mission probably has a very good chance of leading.
Got a good draw.
It's got a very good draw.
It should.
PL's on the Stella.
Lively Lauren, probably the quickest dog in the race, but it's going to struggle to out-trap the one.
What is it?
Given the traps are working all right, PL, are you happy to have a little score on the 6 here?
Whoa, hang on. What do you say there? What do you mean they've opened?
They have opened, yeah, successfully,
Yeah.
race after race.
Yeah. Not a great speed, though.
I think have a little bet the 6. A little savour the 2.
Davey Branch loves a rap.
He loves a rap.
Just loves it.
I was Lifford's got to go ahead as it PL for the
Yes, sir. Yeah. Which is good.
very
Or
good.
Sisson Cup.
Should be going down.
So they're in no rush to open it during the winter. I think it red, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, going to start March.
Yeah, more
Because
sensible.
we're
isn't it?
going to, what'll happen is we'll just go into Christmas, rush, and then get bollocksed in January and February. So,
Yeah.
so
Are they going to be trialing before March? And they're going to trial over
yeah,
it?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Start trialing start the year or something next year.
Yeah, start a year, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, January, February,
Yeah.
we tried it and then opening
Yeah.
in March.
Oh, makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, finally got there. Koosh, if you're making a mind-wilded dogs seek therapy, yeah. Thanks for that one. But I listened to Tricky and I got out of it, so it all went my way. It was good. I like it when he goes that night.
Always a bonus.
Just
This-
like they got such a massive amount of money for it, though, weren't they? Just
Yeah.
someone really got stuck into it.
Yeah, but how much is it taking them industry prices and all that to do that?
Yeah, but it's on the exchange, though, isn't it? It's probably taken a fair bit.
Yeah.
I just said.
Anyone got any opinion about this semi-final at Oxford?
I had a bet. I'd back
They're only
Chovy
dogs in
had
the
a bet.
race.
Having a bet.
Yeah. Yeah, 2's a huge price.
Is it?
Huge price, yeah.
Might have a little interest in.
I've had a I've had a few quid with the account.
That sounds. Have you?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, right. I better do a com then, yeah?
Yeah.
He's had an 11 for 4. It like
It's huge. It's absolutely huge now.
I've not even really. I saw the first round. I haven't seen the second round, but. And when Tom said we weren't doing it, I didn't really bother.
He's just had a win. He's just had a winner, hasn't he? So he gets a bit carried away. He goes back to the old Watchalong rather than Watchalong.
I do this commentary in slow motion, like the traps. And away, Jesus Christ. 4 smashed out. Havana All Blazers led for Rab and gone around about 2-3 lengths clear from the 6. Romeo Missions turns second. Then comes Lively Lauren back in third spot down the far side. Black Jacket of the Havana prefix goes on from 6, who's now really putting in a spirited effort on the outside. Romeo Mission turning up the last. It's Havana All Ablaze who's going to go and score just from Romeo Mission.
Chindus.
He was only third, Tom.
Well, I had a saver on 6, but that's no good.
4 smashed down, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
All ablaze. Twos are all right, to be fair, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that trapping in there.
Yeah, you start.
Yeah, I thought when it grabbed the rail, I had a decent chance of going round, but that's okay.
One, he's bad there at the third. Well, Mrs. Peel says it hit the rail. Anyhow.
We move. $8.17 at Romford, the next race. An interesting stayers race, this one.
how good of a draw has this 6 got, by the way?
Loaded GD.
Yeah, it's got a massive draw. I don't think the one actually wants the 1, to be honest. I think it wants the middle, me. They just seem like a bit of a mess, and I just thought the 5 will definitely move in, and thought 6 had a lovely draw here.
Yeah.
Still bet under to 30.
The 1 has got very, very good early pace, but I think doesn't particularly enjoy being out in front for too long.
No wrong with that.
Yeah, I was bet 6 and just have full cast back, really. I thought stayed really well. That was my play. Not strong, but that was just my interest play, if you like.
What do we think to 4's staying ability?
If she wants to.
Definitely stays. Just
once aroused.
It's a quirk as well, like, isn't it?
Say again.
Yeah, three's a bang reeler and all. I thought 2 went to the drop better than most last week in this.
Yeah, I just thought it was a shit draw. That was the thing with everything going across on it. But
when you look at 1 though, 1's got 13.48, 13.44, 13.41, doing 35.54. That's going to take some beating, isn't it?
It almost always gets picked up.
Oh yeah, I'm saying, but there's a lot of non-stays in this, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have the 5 really staying. The 4's not the strongest. 2 of them's a 380 dogs rather than a 540 dog round Crayford. The Blue's not mega strong. Went to drop better than some of the others I finished behind last week. I think if I have a bet, I think I'd just They take a chance on a egg going bingo, and if it leads, loaded on stairs behind it.
Yeah, I watched quite a few videos of the one. I just couldn't really work out what it was doing, what it was trying to do to get around. I couldn't work out if it couldn't stay or just got a bit lonely in front.
Yeah.
It's a screw. Six has got a fantastic makeup here. Everything's moving onto the inside. Just like the It's Your Best Mates race, isn't it? It's just might
Yeah,
not
but
be.
it's a middle runner itself, though, isn't it? I don't think it's a widest
It
itself.
comes out of 5 and 6 in grade, and it doesn't do too much damage going in. It's going to get space to. It's going to get its lane to go into anyway, innit?
Yeah. Well, like it says, they're all early paces, aren't they? So
Has the Watchalong syndicate taken up?
Tom,
No, he's gone.
he's gone.
the
I'll
dog
find that.
got marked. I know he said. I was talking to him earlier before I came on. He said the dog got marked up tonight, so
Oh,
he thinks
cool.
it'll be. He thinks it'll be trial on Wednesday,
Happy
Huh?
days.
but he should be. When you see them runs on Shelbourne, and I looks a proper Romford Oxford type dog, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He does.
Need to get a Northern one as well. A Northern Watchalong dog.
Yeah.
A North and a South. That'll be the way forward.
There's no divide. There's no divide.
Ah,
There's
there
no
is a-
divide. There's no divide. The dog just has to run at Romford.
I have bad memories of going to Romford. Bad memories. I had a
Well,
graded dog there.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic in the 90s when we used to go on appeal.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yvonne
So,
Gaskin said to me, she went, this dog can't get beat one night. I went, all right, cool. So I came down. I had £2,000 it. I paid my mate 200 quid to drive me to Romford, which took us about 4.5 hours from Preston. The dog obviously got beat, left about 20 lengths on the track and got beat a length and a half. And then drove back on the way. My mate's gone on the Bandit in the service station and shipped another 800 quid.
No.
He's only had 300 quid on the dog, and he's gone and done 800 quid on the Bandit. And I've had to sit there for an hour and a half watching it.
No.
I was fucking cured. I'm sat there going, I just want my bed. I'm knackered. And he's sat there like, I need a jackpot to get me out of the hole here.
Oh, stop.
Oh, never forgiven that place. It won next time out, like.
Yeah,
I was on him. Yeah. It was just
the
sick.
awareness.
Just so sick. I think I had an 11 for 4 him or something like that, and he won. And yeah, Guildford Jet, it was called.
It's unnatural how many times that happens though when you think you tilt the back one or whatever, and it's the next time it wins, especially if they've been nailing them. I always think if they've been nailing the dog, it needs a run. You haven't run it somewhere else to clear the windpipes and all that.
You need to give it at least a gallop. You need to let it blow out like.
Not that I condone anything like that. We would never do it. But,
Got to be done.
back nipple over.
Yeah, 2 and 6 been back really.
I'll stick with what I done. I back, like you say, I back Itchy Mate and doubled it up with Real McCoy. So if I stop now, at least I'm nicking a few quid, which is a rare
That's
event
it.
these days. So
That's it.
enough for a leg of mince on Sunday.
Yeah, I think 6 has got a good draw here, but as I say, it's 400 form going back to 575. But
You know two things about it. You know it stays, and you know
yeah,
that it's got the draw to work from. Like, and the trap's okay. I mean, I'm not saying it necessarily wants the 6, but it's fine in 6, especially with the way the race shapes up.
yeah, the make of the race, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Well, they're all the rest of it heading one way, aren't they?
You're going to do a classic one, watch along, PL.
We're going to do what?
You're going to do a watch along for the classic.
The
What,
Puppy
Sunderland?
Classic, is it?
No, the classic at Sunderland.
All right. When's that?
3rd of November start, I think. Maybe.
Don't tend to do the ARC ones, do we? That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
That's not, unless
just
you guarantee that they show that. I don't know. Yeah, you better ask
I'm going to
Tom.
stream one.
You'll be at the track anyway, won't you? You'll be
I will.
live reporting, won't you?
If it's
I'll
on
be on
telly,
there.
maybe. A new dog could
Okay.
even run it, potentially.
It'll be a Thursday night one, I would think. The final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Or Wednesday night. Oh, Wednesday or Thursday night one.
possibly the Wednesdays, yeah.
Yeah.
We having a bet here?
Comes a bit too early for the bits
I
that would
could
have opened for us.
only have a small interest on 6, Tom, but
9.8 the red. I was red. Why is the red 9.8? His leg fell off in the parade or something. Or is it a raver like you said?
You bitch, what is she in season?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's up to got in that, isn't it?
Well, I can't say she's not because when she comes back on the card, I'll have a season date on it. So yeah, I think she's about 10 weeks now.
10 weeks.
Yeah.
So she could have been an entry in Classic, couldn't she?
Yeah. Well, she was breaking 27. Yeah, but I know the first time she came back, she'd been up for about 6 weeks, and she won an A1 by about 8 lengths, and the rest of them are all whinging. Shouldn't have open race dogs in an A1 race. And then she was up for another 3 weeks because they wouldn't let her run, and she won the Open. And then we took the Newcastle with our Angel of the North. But she never we weren't sure where to put her, but we didn't want to put seed in middle, even though she wanted to be in 3, because we thought we'd end up in 5 or 6. So we seeded the rails open to get 3, and got trapped 1 every bloody round, and she never trapped in any of them.
right. She's waved the flag. £1,000 for this dual distance final winner. Air approaches and away and racing. 3 walked out the boxes. It's 4 Millbank Peach that leads in the early exchanges. From the 5, Madabat Casey's moved into second just in front of Put for Junie. As they cross the win on with a full circuit to race, and 4 has a 3-length lead. It's 4, 5, 1, 3, 2, 6 languishing at the back as down the far side. It is Millbank Peach setting a furious pace, some 4 lengths clear from Madabat Casey, trying to stay on now. He's Put for Junie. As they swing up the last turn, it's Millbank Peach in full control and will go on to score nicely. Wins it really well in the end from Red, and 6 only made 3rd in the end, Loaded Judy.
So I'll have one out of the boxes once it led.
Yeah, just had 2 to think about and cleared that one easy.
The 6 is just a boat, isn't it?
Yeah, boat. Yeah.
Really base to take advantage of the draw.
Yeah.
Oh, that is tonight, the final of the Oxford thing.
No,
semi-final.
Semi-final.
Semi, yeah.
Oh, it's semis, all right.
Yeah, semi.
4's on. That's a nice dog here, by the way, this Montine Lennox. This one, I think, in a 3-dog race at Sheffield on debut. Can run a bit. Run from 6 last week, I think. Was it?
Yeah, it was middle. Well seeded middle.
Yeah. I'm sure it run from 6 one week, and it lost loads of time on the track. You wouldn't want that inside you, like.
This has been coming under the bars, hasn't it, the 3-dog? But even last week when the traps opened slow, it still managed to come under the bars.
Yeah.
For the first round, Greg Montine Lennox was out of 6.
Thought it run well the first round.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, I remember the dog. Now, Angela's dog. Yeah.
Put some miles in, don't they, Angela, and that?
You do, yeah.
I think it's that lad from who used to work for Charlie Lister, isn't it?
Ian's
does a lot of
Ian,
does
yeah.
a lot of he does a lot of driving from, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always at Newcastle, like, and then you always see him like, well, you know, on the road as well. It's
Well, even when they go to the Newcastle trainers, they're not really Newcastle trainers. Another hour at least north, aren't they? Hour and a half north at Alnwick, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yvonne Bell's on. She's split, isn't she, between the two?
I think they were sort of half asking her to go on Newcastle, but she doesn't want to. So she covers all the Sunderland meetings and does Friday, Saturdays at Newcastle.
Have you never fancied any on Nuke rather than Sunderland? Because both of yours are on Sunderland, aren't they?
Yeah, the two that we've got running. Well, she's running there. Gorney got another one that I'll be running. That'll start off at Sunderland, but I think might give her a couple of sprint trials when she comes back out of the season. Because no matter what trial she does around Sunderland, they're going to put her in an A1 if they let her on the card. So it might be better off going in. Might try her.
Yeah, you got to definitely get her on there.
We might try her. We think she stays 6 bends that she never stops. And the yearly pace she's got, the short 6 bends, like say somewhere with a short on the bend, like Sheffield somewhere. I think she get off the front door and they pick her up. But it should be an ideal for something like that, 3 steps, because she's got the pace to win all them distances, and then you just hope she stays to 60 in the final.
Or you just get your grand and withdraw if you don't think she'd stay.
Well, I think she will stay though.
You'd find out when you're in something like that.
If they could get a really crappy maiden open, I'd stick the other one in as well. She never gets picked up when she leads Corney. And there's a real strong dog. Yeah, there's a real strong dog against her when she won the last time, and it gave up chasing it to the drop. It jacked in. So
no problem. She's clumsy. Like I bet her a couple of times when she was.
She goes rails on the bend. She runs if she's in front, she runs the bends as well as anything on the track. But she rails on the bends and then goes back middle on the straights, and that's the problem. It's just. I mean, the other night, the go, like you say, was just when she came away and level with him. She ran the same 3 dog a few weeks ago. Came away level, was 2 in front by the bend. The other night, it was as if like you just couldn't pick your feet about the ground. And
I bet her the night she was second to Macca Blacker, and Macca Blacker doesn't stay 400 yards, and she's turned bang behind it, and I'm like, right, you paid now, and she's just running to the back of it. The third, I was like, what?
How long ago was that?
She was probably still in season.
Yeah, we brought her back a bit quicker than we should have, really, I think. But
don't do many harm, though.
But she's won 3 out of the last 6, and when she, like you said, the first 3 times she won, I think she won by something like 6 lengths, 5 lengths, 6 lengths. And then the first time in the A1, she led up and she won the A1. So, she never seems to, when she's short price, she never seems, for some reason, she does it wrong. I don't know what it is with her.
Ooh.
Want the back of the price, I think.
Tully Graven's on Greyhound Trader sales this weekend.
How old is Tully Graven now?
Young, isn't he?
Yeah, it's only September, October, yeah.
There's some weird. How can you buy a dog off when they put the going man at 60 though and pay thousands of pounds for him? That's a very strange thing.
It's on the thing, isn't it? And what's the what do you reckon he'd go for, Tully Graven? What do you reckon the price would be?
What's he been running against in Ireland then?
He's been in the Puppy Derby, isn't he?
You want to heat
He was in the actual Derby.
You got to the 3rd round, 4th round?
Yeah. I know 20 minutes now, yeah.
I'd have said 22 and a half. That would have been my guess.
20, 25, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, 30 they've got the guide up.
Yeah. Look.
Is it 30 as a reserve price or?
It will be, yeah. It normally is when that's the. It's like the guide price is normally a reserve.
Any opinion here on this Oxford race?
I'd lay the 3.
The 3 will win. If he comes away like he has, just don't see why I won't win 5 or 6 lengths, mate.
I actually embarrassingly had a post bet on Nancy Spain each way, but
money for it tonight.
The 2's going to move off from 2 here.
But I'm not sure. Yeah, he will do. Yeah.
Everything seems to be going that way, though.
Yeah.
Since it's open, though, they have said that the ones people going, they think, I don't know, they're trapping better or the track's been running better, but you seem to be better off if you draw middle to wide. But one of the lads on the thing, he was saying that they've only got one sort of ram on the traps, that's why they might be open slow, where most of them have two.
Down the middle, that's all they got. Yeah, it needs to be 3. That's what we did at Lifford straight away. That's what I did because of the toaster traps. I just got the extra rams put in. Anyway,
Always missed it.
they're off from racing, and 2 smashed out, move middle immediately, and goes into the turn with the advantage. Montine Lennox has a narrow call over the favourite. Just jumped over the back slightly, but then straightens up and powers down. It's from post to pillar that asserts into the third turn and goes around about 3 lengths clear now from Jasmine Lily in second spot. Then in behind these comes the middle running Montine Lennox, and up towards the line, Rab and Lizzie's dog has gone on to score really nicely in the end, despite the fact that he had his ground taken early doors.
Yeah, done everything wrong on it. So
that's a prime example of draws don't matter in ground racing.
Yeah.
I think it'd just be about anti-post favour for next year's derby, won't it?
Actually, Craig, the fact that he missed it helped him because if he had traps, I think 2 would have had him at the start. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't have won, but it wouldn't have helped, would it? But
no.
Yeah, the actual fact that he missed it, he jumped over the back of 2 actually out the second bend as well. Still
that's
straight.
Lemson, hasn't he? I watched his run at Toasty, and I wasn't taken by him. I didn't like the dog. Being honest, I really didn't like him, and he just didn't seem to run the place at all.
Yeah,
and it could be
different.
They've got him as like one of the anti-post favourites now at Toaster, haven't they? But I agree with you, that Toaster run, and it could be one of them. It's one of them tracks, isn't it? But his Central Park run, he didn't beat great dogs, but he pissed in first time there, and he's robbed home all the time at Oxford. His only bad run's been at Toaster, hasn't it? So
yeah.
I mean, my think he just needs a couple of looks round or something.
Yeah. He looks a quick dog, doesn't he?
It's always different though when you're stepping up from puppy comp to all age, and like you say, there's
that's why they should have something in between, shouldn't they? Really?
Yeah, like why can't it 2 to 2.5?
Well, that's what the thing is. What PL is about? That juvenile, isn't it? The Concurb is the juvenile, isn't it? And that
you get an extra month, I think you get.
It's like that. You could have that juvenile or more winners of 1, winners of 2. So you're not running against. Well, if you've done them more regular and done them publicised them a bit better, maybe you might.
It's like Nottingham. They put on a bitches maiden winner of 1, dual distance, egg and spoon, balance something on your head, fucking open, and they go, "Oh, it's not filled." It's like, well, it's not open to anybody. It's open to about 3 dogs in the country, you clowns. Fucking hell. It's madness.
Okay. 10 minutes to off in the next one. There's a lot of quick dogs in this. Lots of the Romford favourites. Droopy's Good was pretty short earlier in the day, probably in lay territory. And I was up for laying Droopy's Good with Carter Bar, Moorestown, Victor Antigua socks inside. But I think the price is probably getting to a place that's about right now. I think Rail McCoy is pretty well drawn here, with a lot of dogs that fancy rails. Obviously, Rail McCoy's got some decent early, and out of all of them, probably got the best chance of leading to the bend, I would say. Obviously capable of some very, very quick times. 23.84 2 runs ago. So I made Rail McCoy my pick here, but what do you guys think?
Well, this is very tough, man. They're all just... The problem with these type of races is it's just whatever escapes in it. And like I think the market's not far off from being right, to be honest. Like Carter Bar at 4-1. 4-1, 7-2. He's not far off his price. I think Droopy's Good's the same. I think he's now at his mark. And I just think it's one of them sort of races. There's no real massive good draw angle. I just think it's a the prices are probably what they should be.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought Carter Bar was big at 4.92 earlier on. That was about it, really. But as you say, Craig, a lot of it's on the break, and that's what's got to win the race, because they're all good dogs, and it's really a matter of who gets first jump on who.
£5,000 final, very nice as a supporting race.
Really, really good. Yeah, no, and it's they're typical. These are typical Romford dogs.
Yeah.
Carter Bar and Raoul McCoy meet each other quite a few times. Droopy's Good's probably the new kid on the block, and probably is, it would be slight favourite if he was drawn a little bit inside Carter Bar, I suppose. Antigua Socks was all right last time. Moorestown Victor is one of those dogs that just keeps winning races. He finds a way to win. And Al Blake has probably got nice early, but he's got to clear a really good field here, and it's not going to be easy. So yeah, so on their day, all these dogs are really, really nice Romford dogs, and they're good Friday night Romford dogs. Some of them are exceptional greyhounds. Droopy's good, and Carter Bar's coming towards the end of his career, I suppose, but he still
they've all been in the top 10, wouldn't they, the Romford dogs in the last year?
Exactly, of course they would, Paul. Yeah, exactly.
A cracking final.
It is a really good final. It's not, if you're sponsoring this race, and I know it's Coral's track anyway, but if you're sponsoring this race for £5,000 to the winners, you wouldn't be disappointed.
No.
These should be the dogs you want in the final, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I just sided on with Carter Bar. I thought it really, because of the makeup, Droopy's Good has got to clear him, and so is Raoul McCoy, and it's not a given. Again, it's all on the. Sometimes what happens at Romford, the trap's open, you go bingo, you miss it half a beat. It's a bit like earlier on when we saw Clash Duff Rocket. He missed it. He tried to go up. Sometimes you need XV Delta, kind of half missed it and tried to rush up. It's really on the break, and the break can work wonders over this sort of trip, and because these dogs are all quality, it's really going to be on who starts the best, I think. And I couldn't line anything. Obviously, 2 and 6 are the bigger price runners, but it's not beyond the realms. If one of them goes wallop and they get to the front, things happen in behind. So it's a really, really good. It's really good fun. And I just don't think I could be confident about anything. I repeat myself. I thought Carter Bar at 4-1, 9-2 was overpriced, and he's about 4-1 on the exchanges now. So
I'll just play him now at 4s. I think he's a little bit big there.
Say again?
I've just had another little look at the race then. I've ended up playing him at 4s. I just think he's probably got more pace than the insides, and he's on the right side of Droopy's Good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the only conclusion I came to, Craig. That's exactly what I came to.
You just think whatever turns off the second bend in front of the win, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even handy into the first bend. I mean, Antigua Socks on the inside has got a beautiful draw in this race. Moorestown Victor, very capable of missing it, and Antigua Socks could well get a solo and just be away and gone.
Yeah, but I just don't see him breaking in front of the field. He might do. I just don't. I see him going, being prominent, but I just don't see him leading clean. That was just the way I read it, but.
They're all just going to be going so quickly into the bend.
Exactly. Yeah, they are.
It's difficult to go in a straight line and then turn left when you're going as fast as they'll be going here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my Twitter here. I don't think I've watched RP Grounds for 2 to 3 years. If I'm honest, I'm salty there whipped. I think it might be sorry there whipped the owner trainer's license away. I watch this lot and smirk though, an absolute slob and a young girl wittering utter shite. Good luck to everyone involved.
It's a bit harsh.
Well,
That is a bit harsh.
there's not a lot of love for it, and when you go through all about the pound note with the RPG TV mob, Bullen the only one who gives an opinion, and somebody else is on there on a different thread as well.
What's that on? What's it?
Just people on Twitter. Just a quick look through Twitter.
Oh. It does do a job though, the Racing Post, doesn't it?
Oh, you need it. But what I said about it is, it shouldn't be locked. They shouldn't be locked down to N10 or whatever. They should be shown. The Oaks should be on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should be every big
showcasing the best of the sport.
Yeah, every night it should be, and it shouldn't be like Crayford has to be on a Saturday night every week, or you can only. You know what I mean? When they left Shelburne off to watch A9s and A10s at Crayford, and then they left Monmouth when the Monmouth was having all them open race meetings in the build up to there. That big winter festival.
It's not actually their fault.
Yeah.
It's just
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying this, but it shouldn't be, should it? Because Monmouth was showing really good open race cards, and it was showing Crayford with A9s and A10s, and the best grade, and the night was an A5 or something. And you're just like, you've got a really good card at Monmouth, and it's like you should be shown the best.
That's what gets me as well. Is that if you know that you're going to be shown on Racing Post TV, surely you'd want to put your better or some of your better races on.
Yeah.
That's where the Doncaster thing won it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't
really one night really.
I don't really understand what Donny are doing. And
Sue
for me,
doesn't want to
Donny's such a good track. It's just it could be showcased so well.
Yeah,
they don't even have a D1, which they've got D1 sprinters, but
is that the Sabre Fiver or a tenner?
But yeah, it's
like Harlow, isn't it? Harlow top grade A4, A5.
Why don't you promote your best dogs? Why don't you call them your best dogs? Because, like Craig said earlier on, you want to follow those good. You want to follow those good dogs. You want to see the repetition of, I saw that dog last week. I want to bet him next week. It
doesn't even have to be. It's like you said, it doesn't even have to be open race dogs. Look at Tom Charlie and them dogs are Sunderland running off the back.
Correct.
And they got more publicity on RPG TV, I think, and a bigger following than an open race dogs on the Friday.
That's why I keep saying to Tom, that's why the Australians promote themselves so well, because they showcase those
promote the good dogs.
That's why you want those dogs to spin on each week.
I have no interest in Australian dogs, and I know a few Australian dogs. That's how well they promote it on like the Twitter. You know,
no, it's pathetic. Like you say, that some of the meetings that they put on, and it's pathetic that the only ground channel we have can't just put the best racing on.
There'd be nobody more frustrated though than Clive and Dave.
Oh, I'm not saying. But what else is embarrassing is when there's certain people on RPG TV apparently not even allowed to talk that the Oaks is on or something either.
I've had a little bet on Carter Barry, a tiny bet. Tom.
That's all right.
Just to cheer him on. He's gone a wrong price.
Double.
Good final. This one, the Coral Standard Trophy final. Favourite is just Droopy's good in front of Raoul McCoy 4 and 5. They've both got a clear Carter bar. Hare approaches then. £5,000 up for grabs here. And they race away. And 5. Raoul McCoy gets a decent start. And will get across the field and go on now from 6 with company. Al Blake on the outside. Raoul McCoy from Al Blake. And then comes Droopy's good. In behind these comes Antigua Sox looking for room into the third turn. But it's 5, the orange. Still with a narrow advantage. Raoul McCoy from Al Blake. He kicks away. Raoul McCoy goes on to score and score nicely in the end. And claim the £5,000 Coral Standard Trophy. From Al Blake is second, and Antigua Sox back in third.
Go on, say it, PL. About beating the draw.
You can beat an egg, but you can't beat a good draw. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, I suppose. He was always going to go across for him. And he got the good start. That was the key. And what ended up happening, Paul, was 4 was edged into 3 and squeezed up. And he took his...
Because last week 4 probably didn't trap as well as that.
nice speed to the turn, but of course Al Blake needs to lead to win and couldn't quite clear Raoul McCoy. But he's battled on well, to be fair. And even you have to say Droopy's good. Tried to rush into the third turn, but he can't, I don't know whether he hit the rails at the third bend or
ran the back of the 5 or whatever.
Yeah, he might have caught the back heels.
But he's probably come away better tonight. Droopy's good than he did last week. Well, last week he had the rail, didn't he, to go up? Whereas tonight he's trying to clear all them dogs.
He is one of those dogs that finds a way, Raoul McCoy. He just finds a way to win and win in the final.
That's the second big final he's won, isn't it?
He's trained by the champion trainer. So to be fair, it's not a surprise. And the Last Dance Syndicate get a nice prize there.
Yeah, that's it. He won. That's the second big final he's won this year, isn't it?
Yeah, and not once in that review have we said it was a good performance.
That was a very good performance.
Not once.
He done what it was very real McCoy-esque. Done what he does. He bangs out and gets off the front.
Yeah,
and he must be a good dog because he got my double up. Fucking hell, that's a bit of a miracle lately.
It is.
I'll tell you one thing. Would you want to bet Coppice Josie at 1-3 after what happened to her on the running last time?
Was that the one that packed in at Monmouth?
Yeah,
Perry Bar, sorry.
Perry Bar, yeah.
The same place. Was it the same place where they slowed the hair up, or
just strange? Yeah, very, very strange.
Have you seen the trap draw for the Puppy Cup final?
No,
Collar final.
Well, the manager's right.
Lively Lauren in 1, Montine Lennox in 2, Havana All Blaze 3, From Pillar to Post is in 4, Romeo Mission in 5, and Jasmine Lily in 6.
Well, the Lauren bitch has got her cracking draw, but just probably not quick enough, is she?
Yeah.
Because when you watch where 2 went tonight, one couldn't have a better draw, could it?
One's got a great draw, yeah. Great draw. And I actually think that she got a flat-footed start as well. So
yeah, she's better out than 1, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It's not impossible to get a better break. Draws win races.
Just like you say, the other thing as well is, I'm guessing they're going to still have the same traps next week as well. So that's always it.
Yeah, they may well change it. It probably will.
But you wouldn't expect them to change it during a comp, Tom, would you?
I wouldn't rule anything out. I would not rule anything out.
That's all I'm saying.
They might have. What choice do they really have when they've got these traps that might not open though?
Imagine the uproar though if they're curved fronts for the final.
My argument is they run them tonight. So, but why? I think. They'd actually probably open. The fact that Clarkie's put that thing up, oh look, they've tested them and they're all right. So they've got away with it tonight, so they'll get away with it next week. And then they'll say, look, everyone's well done to Toaster. They've changed the traps after. Yeah, they've done what everyone's said they should do, and everything will be hunky-dory. That's what I think.
That's thing.
That's got to change them. Spring-loaded traps are the only way. Pneumatic traps are ridiculous. Just a stupid invention. They must be more expensive. They must be more expensive to maintain. I don't understand why you wouldn't just have spring-loaded traps everywhere.
Just looking at it on Twitter there, that former Whippet. The missus and the kids are staying at their mum's tonight, just left. 2 minutes later, doorbell goes. Assume she's forgot something. Shout, the sex party hasn't started yet. It's a neighbour with a parcel.
All right, let's see how Coppice Josie runs here.
You'd probably get just leading shit in, wouldn't it?
Probably.
What do we think, Craig?
I'd have wanted to be against her, but now at the prices, I probably kind of want to be with her.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost like 8-11. I'm like, well, she's nigh unbackable, isn't she?
Yeah.
On her Irish, I mean, she hadn't done that at Perry Bar. I mean, what price would she be here?
Yeah.
Probably just sit it out, to be honest. I'm not getting involved in short ones.
I can't have a bet there just because of the traps. Simple as that. Stick to what I said. 2 bets, 2 winners. Call the police.
That's it. That's what I like to hear. A professional amongst us. Tom, what do you think?
Boring.
You're not coming on again. Oh, me.
Oh,
You know.
She's in a good bitch, just like.
yeah.
Come out on fucking double elastic band.
Rolled like a cat.
4's ran well against it already, hasn't it? It's come back at it as
Yeah,
well.
it's running really well. Could well
Going to
get
beat
up.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to beat it. Jeez, that's a bit of pace. Oh, it's gone very wide though. No, it's gone.
It's a lot of 2 to 3, that.
Yeah.
It had as much earlier as 3 because it didn't trap as good as it, but it was on top of it at the bend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That ran very well, that.
Dubious about how sound that bitch is, me.
Hmm.
Which sounds thingy because it's with Kevin, that, but I just think there shouldn't be a dog in the country be able to give a 4 start and run her over
Yeah.
down the back.
Got there too quick, Craig. That was the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Ran off the second bet.
If she gets chin like late on, fine. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
what it's done to a 2 to 3, I can't. There's got to be something slightly amiss.
Well, it was his other dog that big pick it up, so that might have been the buzzer.
I'm sure the Coppice boys will be buzzing with that. You've just paid 14 grand for a dog, yeah. I bet this other fucker against it tonight.
Yeah. Well, if they were on that one, it would be all right, wouldn't it?
Imagine turning behind it. Fucking owners at 3 eyeing.
Be all right. They might all be on. Might have all laid 3 and bet 4. Coop landed.
It's the way forward. Jesus, Mark Wallace looks like he's.
Looks like he's been out on a Friday night with us, look.
Aye, doesn't it? It's like an 8-12 Suffolk Downing morning, looking at it. Just got in at 6 and just, fucking hell. Could do without this today, lads.
7-hour drive to Oxford.
Yeah. Warzone Tom.
Warzone Tom did 34.55 last week. That is just. Do you think a dog will ever break 34?
No.
Probably in about 10 years, where the tracks are going.
Yeah.
Look at Shelburne
I
Park
think-
with like the 28 and 29 barrier. And then they both got done. And then like the 18-second barrier will go at some point as well for the sprint.
I can see 34 seconds being done in our lifetime.
The track's still
Which
be there, isn't
seems-
that, by that time?
Maybe not in Watty's
Incomprehensible. Seeing 35 get beaten was remarkable, but to see a dog do 34.55, that is crazy.
Because when you think what was about a Dad Joe Bob and 5-star Clipper and dogs like that doing?
They were doing sort of 35.20s, I think.
That's what I mean. You can't tell me Warzone Tom is 70 spots quicker.
Yeah.
Well, Dad Joe Bob broke 35 seconds a few times, didn't he?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did too, though.
I remember was it Airport Captain? I think did
Yeah.
34.80, something like that in the final.
He was brilliant round Romford and brilliant round Henlow, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, absolute weapon of a dog. I mean, Warzone Tom is a funny one.
Weapon of a dog, but Inky Hold'em done his track record. That's all I'd like to say.
Yeah.
Well, calculated track record.
Yeah.
When we had the best roar up for a long time on that track.
All the eyes at Henley. Yeah.
The one I liked about that was when they showed the replay, they cut the sound out. They couldn't have the sound on. we were still roaring going to drop, weren't we? You shouting, fucking aye, fucking aye.
I was excited. Yeah, quite embarrassing looking back, but
No. Well, he won a final by 12 lengths. What are you going to do? And the doggy big got the derby final, didn't it?
yeah.
You have to enjoy it though, don't you? Some sort of nights, they don't come around all the time, do they?
Exactly. There's always a kick in the bollocks around the corner, isn't there? So you have to enjoy it.
Yeah, I've got the frame jacket in my downstairs toilet from that Henlow win.
Nice how you put it somewhere, real, where everyone's going to see it. And
it's like my little greyhound shrines. I've got Early Impact's little derby final glass thing, and
through the key.
Yeah,
there he is. Go on, Inky lad. What a boy he was. Shellbar win for us as well.
Yeah.
Did you all go over for that?
Not all of us.
We met. I missed when he won. Me and Matt went over about five rounds of the Irish Derby. I think he got through. Did he get through 3 rounds or 2 rounds of the Irish Derby? One of the few people that went over. Where me and me and Matt were going over on the ferry every week. It was always good with going on the ferry with Matt. He could be as flat as anything. He still gets seasick. Checking his tablets and everything.
I went over in the van with Darren from the Carriage Rules Kennel. Me and Kenny went in the van, squished in the seat in the front, and we got to Shelbourne, and me and Kenny had about 15 pints each in about 2 or 3 hours. And sitting in the port for 8 hours waiting for our ferry home in the vertical seat was as miserable as I think I've ever been.
Well, when we went over, me and Matt went over, then went round Dublin for a bit, and then went to track, met Darren, and then got in the van back with him. Stopped off at the off license, got a crate of lager. Sat at about 3 o'clock in the port. Fed the dogs on the way back when he got past before he got the port and everything, and then they park up, and then they come up, and the ferry would be about 3 o'clock. You shut the bar on the ferry or something, wouldn't it? Darren always had a cabin though, and then me and Matt were looking for somewhere to sleep or whatever. And then one night it was we were on the 5th deck, and the waves were coming over the 5th deck. I've never seen so many green people in my life. I was telling me, I'm sat drinking bottles of Heineken, and people are puking in them bloody brown bags and all that. It was good times.
I remember we got off to Wales and let the dogs out for a wee and everything. Back in the van, I fell asleep. Woke up about 3 hours later, looked at a road sign. It was in Welsh. I was like, I was still in fucking Wales.
That's the thing. When we went from Wrexham way and where Chester is and that, it's still an absolute mile down to Holyhead, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a fucking right trek. That's how I normally go over on the ferry. I prefer it because you can just sit there, have a few beers, and flying in airports and stuff. They're just horrible. The
thing is that the reason we were going on the ferry was it was about 70 quid each or something. The planes were about 300 quid a flight or something. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous because of the time of year it was. And the hotel, like you say, thinking of staying in the hotel in Dublin is just you jewels, isn't it?
You can have a week 5-star in the Canaries for the cost of a Ryanair flight and a fucking travel lodge in Dublin these days. Ridiculous.
Yeah, last time I was going to go, I was going to get a flight over and just stay out all night and then just go to the airport.
Yeah, that's pretty shrewd, to be fair. Anyone taking on Warzone, Tom? I'm certainly not.
If I had a bet in a race, I was hoping to get evens for Droopy's Garden to first 3, but it was 4-6, and I thought I don't want to back at 4-6. I'm not sure whether more than one dog will get away from it early doors. That would have been my way to bet on it, but I haven't had a bet, so. But I wouldn't want to back at that price Warzone, Tom.
No, happy enough to watch,
especially from the blue.
David Mullins has a habit of winning some of these big finals with massive prices, doesn't he? So.
Wastehouse is he there? A plethora of wide runners, 4 wide runners in a final at Romford, unheard of.
I really like the dog in 6. He can run. Come as you are.
Yeah, I backed it last week. He just got beaten in the black. Was it the black that just beat us?
Oh.
Seems amazing, really, doesn't it? Warzone Tom, the track record holder, and you think, how can he get beat, really? But we all know Warzone Tom can get himself beat. But let's hope he does it right for the McNairs. Champion Stakes final then. Hare runs 575 metres, £20,000 to the winner. Away and Racing and 5 has flashed out. Wastehouse Izzy for David Mullins. Gets first jump on the field in front of the 4 Antigua Biggin, who just spins off a true line and allows a scene for Warzone Tom. It's now 5 that goes on with a full circuit to race. Wastehouse Izzy with a 2-length lead from Warzone Tom, who's starting to bear down now. They're well clear of Droopy's Garden, who's moved into third spot into the 5th turn. And Warzone Tom just jumped over the back of the leader. Wastehouse Izzy. Is Wastehouse Izzy being pressed by Warzone Tom near the line? Oh, it's tight. I think he might just have got there the favour right where it mattered. He made a mistake at the 5th turn, but I think he's just got there. It will be a photo.
Nearly a Dave Mullins boil over.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. You said that just before the off as well.
I said the 1 hour to bet. She's finished third as well, Droopy's Garden, but
What a good race as well.
look where it is there. Antigua Biggin's got totally lost out the white, hasn't he? Where the hell's he gone?
White, didn't he? And took 6 with,
Oh, again, they run over the back of the 6.
I thought he was just going to go round up the inside here,
Yeah,
and then
he
then he just rather didn't have the bottle to do it or change his man last there. Unless the Black Orange just come back across him.
She's chopping the bends, isn't she? And so
it was run quite way before the bend though, but
He's got nowhere to go there.
I think he's got up, but it's a funny angle, isn't it?
I think he has. Oh, tell you what.
No,
it's close. I think he's won. Like normally, when you see that any other track, you go, that's 1/2 a length, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
but at Romford,
I think he's won.
I think he's got there, like.
Yeah. I go for closer. Red's got the Red's only beat length and a half. That's a mile behind.
Yeah.
Could be a golden jacket dog at Droopy's Garden.
Interesting bit of chat between Josh Seeley and Dave Clark on Twitter tonight.
Yeah.
So Dave Clark put a video up of the traps opening. Josh Seeley said if they've only got 1 ram on the front, that's why they're opening like a slug.
Yeah.
Said those type of traps should be compressed air-fed rams when they've got a Chinese knockoff version of Smithy's traps. Hence why I won't help them out as they've copied his version. Lifford had single ram older versions. They've added double ram for speed.
That's it.
That's what
Clarky said you'd know a lot more about the traps than me. Does anyone know? Does anyone still make the curved front boxes Swindon used to have? I favour those over any other type. Josh Seeley said, unfortunately not. Hence why Swindon bought the Smithy air compressed version before I left. They were made by Ashwell Biomass, but last time I spoke to them, they tried some of the plans. They no longer had time to make them. They were bulletproof though and great. I mean, that's
what somebody else put. That's what somebody else put. That's what I was saying. I didn't still have them because somebody else put them. Don't make them anymore.
And they,
but it's all about
the right to make them.
But the thing is, like they've been given the fixing, haven't they? Put the extra rams on them, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's
how,
the first.
How difficult is that to do, PL?
It took him a long while to do it. To be fair, but that was probably because he knew that he had a long.
He had the time to do it. Yeah.
So he kind of he drew it all out, but I spoke to Gavin straight away after that because I knew what was happening at Toaster with all the flack that they were getting for the slow opening of traps, and that was the last thing that I wanted to happen. That we went over to Lifford and I said these traps have got to be amended. We actually took the decision to actually do away with 2 winning lines, so we just got 1 winning line.
Yeah.
Which, all right, it meant that the sprint trip was a little bit less, but I think you have to do things for what you know is right and what keeps things simple.
Yeah.
And And I knew that because obviously Lifford had been closed for 3 years, and things changed, quite quickly within the realms of how traps are made and stuff like that. And I got quotes on new traps, and they're just it was probably about 25 grand for a set of traps, and that's a lot of money when you want to go and change 2-3 sets of traps. But I spoke to Gavin, and he said I can do that quite easily. And he said, and you'll be better off doing it the way you're doing this because there's nothing wrong with your traps.
Yeah,
and that's what we did. And he took them away. I say he took his time to do them, but I think that was really because he knew there was no great.
This is one of the things I can't believe is that you can, like you said, 50 years ago you put a man on the moon. Now you can't put an extra couple of rams on a track on traps in a week or something. Surely if you pay someone, they'll do it for you in a week or 2 weeks. It doesn't have to get dragged on.
And funny enough,
it's not the man who's doing the Romford clock, is it? Who's doing the traps there and fixing the rams on them, is it?
No, and yeah, that's the other thing in Ireland. They've got a guy there, Dennis Butler, that does all the clocks in Ireland. He does the clocks and he does the third bend sectionals as well, which is again, is something that we're sorting out for Lifford. It's just sometimes things are so basic, and we seem to make them over here into really, really complicated issues, and I don't get why.
Well, how many years ago was it when they mentioned that Romford clock getting fixed? It was COVID, wasn't it? So at least 2 years ago, and they said it's an Irishman who has to come over and fix the clock. There's no one in England, electrician or anything, who could fix that clock. It has to be this Irishman. He still hasn't come over. They're moving the camera. It's going to be done in July. It's now getting on for November. And it's like, what is so difficult about moving the camera?
There's nothing the pictures of the standards. They're just not interested.
The pictures from Mars were better than the pictures of fucking Romford. You know what I mean? And they continue to do it. Oh, Warzone Tom did win, by the way.
34.89.
I mean that.
So five's on a blind, isn't it?
Yep.
Not a young dog.
Yeah, it's broken 35.
Are you grading over there, PL?
Say again?
What are you doing over there? Are you grading?
No. Hopefully, just pricing up really, and just hoping to get things sort of in place. Really, there's a good team there, really, really good team of people. Really, and one of the best men over there is Cathal McGee, who owned the track in the first place when it was first built, and he's 80 years of age, and has just been such a stalwart there. It's incredible, and they all know what's right and what's wrong there, it's a joy to work with those sort of people. No, originally Lorraine said, "Oh, we'll go over there and we got lured in really." I think Harry lured Lorraine in, and she snapped at it. And listen, I'm 60 years old, 60 years of age, and so she is probably a little bit too old to jump and do all that sort of stuff. But originally, my role was going to be to price up the races, Craig, for the tote. That was the thing, and I still believe it'll work. I really, really still think it'll work. I really, really do believe that it'll work. I really like working with the people at the tote. I think they're really, really professional people. They're keen to get into the greyhound scene, and like you say, you're frustrated in your position because they just want to take the easy way out. What the tote want to do, they want to revolutionise greyhound racing. They want to get it back to the good old days. I personally think it's possible. People say, "Oh, you can't." People don't want the tote, but let me tell you something: they don't want what's happening at the moment. So,
no, if you have a low retention and strong markets, there's nothing wrong with it, is there?
That's exactly what it is, and it's paying attention to those markets. It's actually giving the strength and integrity to those markets. But what's happening is with bookmakers issuing Mickey Mouse prices, it gives no confidence at all to any punter.
Well, you can't lay
People want to tell you it won't work because they don't want change.
Exactly, but Betfair changed the world. Betfair changed everything. But now, like Craig said earlier on, Betfair's now being manipulated through robots.
Yeah.
But that's wrong. So I'm trying to put me, not me, but the toe are trying to put the old school back into the old Hackney days. This is what I was saying about what you said earlier.
If you don't try, and
like you quite rightly said about the dog that you said at Sunderland, the Tom dog. You know those sort of dogs.
Tom Charlie.
Tom Charlie. Yeah, they people want to follow those dogs, and I think that's what we want to try and get back. So as we get 10 race cards and 2 and 3 races per week, so people can follow, not the bingo numbers. And I think that's what we need to try and change the way that people feel about dogs.
You get a dog that's track champion, people love to go and watch that dog run.
I just think the whole sport has slipped into lazy ways.
Yeah,
mediocre.
Bingo.
It's mediocre.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about it anymore. Even like dog and or whatever. Little things.
Sunderland was much better when they had the handicaps. There's no handicap racing now at the minute. So they started doing the 6-bend handicaps, but then they had a race. I think 3 of them got knocked over, and then they've got no dogs to run in 6-bend handicaps now. So, but the 4-bend handicaps, I don't go enough people to get them off the track, have they?
Yeah, but the sprint handicaps, they put them on when they can't fill races. The 6-bend.
Well, they're awful, aren't they?
They can't put.
They've got no dogs.
No, they haven't got the numbers to do them. And the handicaps, they don't do them because they can't fucking grade them. They're not good enough to grade them. They don't know the dogs well enough. And it's not always the racing manager's fault because they've got too much on. But then they should have more staff. It's ridiculous. Like Joe was down last night and he's looking at the air and stuff like, why is he down there looking at the fucking hair, man? It's ridiculous.
But I put a thing on Twitter today. Young Gorney, in the last month, we've pulled her out twice on the advance card because I'm not running her because I put her in trap 6 and there's a chance she's going to end up on the floor. Yep. So not bothered. Don't bother me if she runs or she doesn't run. Pull her out. And when I was speaking to Yvonne had already said to us, I was going to pull her out anyhow. And then a daughter said, "Oh well, I was speaking to one of the lads at the racing office, and he said to me, he told him they won't run that bitch out of trap 6, but they put the card on and she's in trap 6. So they don't help themselves." No. But I think more people should be withdrawing the dogs off the cards, and then if they do it, the racing manager might put a bit of effort in and put dogs in the right boxes and stuff.
Yeah. There's Mark looking at why doesn't Boothby inquire about the 3 sets of traps at Shawfield?
They're good traps, those. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Someone might have had them away, like someone might have half-inched them. It's been sat there for that long, though. Do you know what I mean? Could be the case, couldn't it?
You might have families of refugees living in them now. That's the other problem.
I just find it strange that no importance has been put on. You know, listen,
it's a basic thing, isn't it? The hair should be working.
Again, has watched this, and we've criticised what's been happening at Toaster in the past. But I don't get why you believe that those traps are all right when they open slowly. Everyone says that slowly, and then there are those instances, those 2 instances where the 1 and 2, I think it was in the puppy.
Yeah, it was the first round of the puppy competition,
and then the graded meeting the other day in the 5 and 6. And I just think it can't be right, can it? Surely it's just not.
But it's only been by luck that it hasn't happened more times. Because that pill at the post, if he'd have went up in the air last week out the boxes or whatever, if he trapped like he did tonight, he could have ended up on the same thing. Because last week them traps, he was under them. If we watched it, them traps weren't open quick enough for him. But he luckily got under the bars.
Yeah. It's the perfect storm. They've got a gap between them wide enough for a dog to get his head through, and they're not opening quicker than a dog can trap. So the dog's trapping, looking for the gap, and the gap is between those 2 traps. And they're going for it, and they're going up, and it's just awful.
The thing is, though, Tom, right, as a trainer, if you had your dog entered there and you thought the world of him and you think he's going to be a Derby dog next year, I'd be pulling him from that comp.
100%.
I'm not even joking. I'd just be pulling him out.
Craig, if I had an 8 dog running there, it wouldn't be running.
Yeah, I know, but even what I'm saying is, though, like, Rabble, come on.
Oh, I understand exactly what I said that the day on Twitter. I said, why would anyone want to run a dog like you say, where you've got pups like that dog that's it's going to be in the final. It's going to be 4 rounds to run up them traps by next week. And it's only by luck that it hasn't injured, one of them hasn't ended up When you've seen the one and the two dog coming out underneath the bars and that.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, I agree with you totally. If that had been my dog, after I seen that first round, they just would have been withdrawn. That would have been it.
Well, I
It's not
wanted
the
at
prize
least
money.
reassurance that something's been done, and they are opening properly in that.
But
There
it
has
just
to be some reassurance.
same with monitoring them isn't exactly reassurance, is it?
No.
And the amount of
Once
races
this
that
race,
should have been called void and haven't been as well, that's another issue.
Absolutely. On to the 912, the take time to think bitches, which sounds like a threat, but is actually the name of this race. Bitches, taking any time to think about this one?
They definitely take the time to think when you're late coming home from the pub, that's for sure.
I take it this has been bought off. Well, this originally would have been with Pat. This one dog, this Glengar dog.
Yeah.
It's been there a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I know it was with Gamel.
It's a fast dog. It does swing off at the bend, so.
I've not really looked at this race in any depth, to be honest, because I didn't get this far in. I just saw them as we go.
I did the videos on this one. Glengar Daisy, obviously a fast type, but the way it runs the bends, particularly from trap one, worries me. Black Girl Sheck, I mean, for anyone who's trying to step up from card reading to video watching, Black Girl Sheck is a key one to look at because its pace is from the winning line initially to the first bend. It's pretty moderate, and then it absolutely fucking takes off from there. So if you look at it looks moderately away, but it's got a very, very good chance of leading to the bend, and that section doesn't tell the whole story. TJ Slipaway looks well drawn, 369 sectional last week, 24.07, but had a very, very lucky race. The seas parted for it, and it just managed to sweep through. So I make the section this race, Black Girl Sheck.
Yeah, like you say,
yeah, she's always capable of a bingo break, isn't she? There's two dogs of Nathan Hunter that I've bet, and they've won for me. This Black Girl Sheck and that Killer Shield King, is it, in the next one?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I had a right go at that Killer Shield King. I thought 5-1 was totally wrong, and I think it went off twos, and it ran like a drain, and then last week it come out and broke 24. That was a week early. Never mind. But that would be Romford. That would be Romford all over, wouldn't it?
I'd struggle with this one. I think the winner will come from 2, 4, or 6. That's my assessment. But I've got no great.
Yeah, six has good early when it does it right, hasn't it?
The 4's big concern for me is just the trapping.
Yeah, when it does it right, it does good times, isn't it? It's typical Romford dog, isn't it?
Hair runs. 400 metres trip. And away and racing. Red gets a good start on the inside, but early pace from Black Girl Sheck into the turn will lead off here. And Black Girl Sheck goes on 2 lengths clear from Glengar Daisy. Then in behind these, a gap back to Crystal Rose into the penultimate turn. And it's 4 still narrowly from 1 who's now driving up on the inside. And Glengar Daisy now strikes for gold. Glengar Daisy goes on to score and beats Black Girl Sheck in a photo.
So they ran the bends well, considering the third bend they ran the bend well, considering they're going to outside, didn't they? I know the 4's probably running middle, but
I think 4's kept it true, to be honest.
One smashed out and cleared 2 immediately, which is key to the race here.
I think it's better, but like you say, that Glengar bitch, I think starts better when it's in the white. But
I'll take well there though. That's a good break.
They both ran really well. Like you say, the distance to put between ourselves and the rest of the field.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to come through and win comfortable, but the 4's ran on strong, hasn't it?
Kept going well, yeah.
Good race.
I mean, I'd take it 1-1.
Yeah, well, on the camera angle, I'd say it's one of Gregory.
Gregory
Peck.
Gregory Peck neck.
Never heard that before.
No.
Honestly, I've never.
No.
Yeah,
He's lived a sheltered life, Tom. You know, PL.
No.
I live closer to London than most of you boys.
A Gregory.
There you go. Every day's a school day.
Yeah.
Every day's a school day on Graham. Watch along.
Oh, Jesus.
Big news: David B has gone for the chicken lamb doner combo.
Has he?
Every credit.
Does
The
look
only
really
way to
nice,
go.
to be fair.
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Anyway, we've bought a dog, haven't we, PL?
Yeah.
I did mention him before. I mentioned it before as well. I didn't mean to ask you.
So we have bought. It's not very well cut, but here's a video.
And out in trap 6 is Drumdoor Bermuda. The hare coming up behind traps, and away they go. Good start by Clara Elk up the inside.
201 sectional.
Shoots to the opening corner, leads into the bend from in second spot.
Nice.
5 Tommy's Lotto.
It'd be nice in an A4 Romford to start you off.
But out front, and
be
still
lovely.
one. Clara Elk leads by 5 lengths to in second. 5 Tommy's Lotto with 6 in third. Drumdoor Bermuda then.
I mean, from here we've got a bargain. This is a 30 grand dog, but I mean,
Comes trap
it doesn't
2, that's
say for
Carrigan
it,
Wren,
E5,
but out
E5.
front and 1 Clara Elk his stride beginning to shorten a little bit, but he's remaining clear off the final turn. Clara Elk coming back to his rivals will get there from 5 Tommy's Lotto and 6 Drumdoor Bermuda. The order
Is he the
never
same
changing after the opening corner.
Is that
The winning
bitch that won
time
the
is
6
quick,
pen race by 20 lengths, Tom?
28.53. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with Clara Elk.
It's weird,
Yeah,
isn't it? Like, say, the bitch out of Little wins a 6 spend race on Shelbar by 20 lengths. I know she's only beat statues, like, but and he doesn't stay the 480.
What
No,
have you
no,
done
it's
to
a
the
short
third,
run.
Tom?
Sorry.
What did you do to the third bend?
16 something.
I think it's 03.
That'll be within like 2 lengths of like top open, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
A 201 sectional, hardly any dog ever does that. So, so we bought it over for Romford. It's gone to Nathan Hunt. We've set up a little syndicate for it. I think we've sold 5 or 6 shares so far to people who were previously interested. We're going for 10 shares at £600 each. So there's a couple left. So if anyone wants to send a DM to the Greyhound Watchalong syndicate, then £600 for sharing the dog and then share a kennel bills and hopefully have a bit of fun with him.
He looks a perfect dog, to be fair, for Romford and the likes of Oxford.
Yeah,
He does,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially if he takes to the English traps.
I would have said Oxford more than Romford.
Yeah,
the thing is, if he traps like that, it won't matter where he goes, will it?
No, true, but I just think Romford's very specialist, isn't it? You know.
Oh, yeah, you have to take, like saying, you have to take to the trap side, don't you? Like say, but you wouldn't want to run him at Oxford at the moment, would you?
He'd even get 480 more if he dominates.
Yeah.
It's about right.
Oh, yeah.
There's a £3 grand maiden comp coming up. I think we might target him at.
Well, you've got you have all that Winter Derby stuff, don't you, at Monmouth? There's no reason why I wouldn't stay 480 around there, I don't think. You're right, yeah.
Oh, are you going for that maiden comp at Monmouth? The £3 grand? Yeah. That's the shout.
Yeah.
I spoke to Stu about
Droopy's
Gravy going for that, and I think he's going to go for the Eclipse instead, but I'd have said that's where I'd have sent the Gravy dog. Just to try and get a bit of confidence back.
You've got to be trialing 28.50 really, but
you could change your plans. You could change your plans, Tricky, and send Freddie there. He's a maiden in England.
He is a maiden, isn't he?
Nope, he won a heat of the Derby.
Oh no!
All right, oh yeah.
That's what
he did 20. Oh yeah, he did 29.20 or something stupid like that, didn't he?
I did 29.23. That's where I'd have sent it. If it had been a maiden, I'd just gone and collected the £3 grand. That's what I'd have been trying to do, though. Do you know what I mean? You think, well, start him off.
I forgot. I knew he'd done that fast charm round thing. I didn't realise he won the race, so.
Yeah, unfortunately. Inconsiderate bastard.
You've got to keep stepping them up. You've got to get a
winner of one
maiden in. Then you've got to get a Romford maiden in. Then you can go for a Harlow maiden because that counts. Because
over
it's
415
distance than the 400. Yeah, they'll allow it, and then you're up from there. John Dixon asks, same again next week. Any other nights planned? We will release the schedule. to be honest, John, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Probably because my wife's American, we're going to buy more fucking pumpkins for the house because 30 isn't enough.
At the back.
You've never seen as many pumpkins as we've got in out. There's one there, but I don't, that's honestly it's like a pumpkin farm in the main living room.
So there's the survived America in the back now, then.
Yep, wife and baby are back.
So you're not living on takeaways.
Tom,
To
how
be
old
honest,
is
it's
Oliver
getting
now?
quite attritional. Sorry,
How old is Oliver now?
he's 7 months and 1 day.
All right.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. He's going to be tall. I think he's going to be taller than me.
Is he?
He's massive. Yeah, towers over the kids at baby groups like Godzilla.
This is what you hear about. Do you know when people are selling pups and that, and they go, "Oh, he's massive for his age." Never seen anything like him for his age and that.
No one's going to set the screaming shit machine off you, Tom. I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate that.
This should be a good Oxford dog, knowing TikTok.
Should be, shouldn't he?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Wouldn't it?
He ran well the other week when he ran there. I think he just came against good. There's one dog's been flying, that Jetstream dog. When he does her out the box, I'm not sure he wants to prefer middle trap.
Yeah, that's Mick Freshwater's dog, isn't it? The Jetstream man.
TikTok's going to get round.
Oh, it's like stayed a bit wide.
It's nice seeing a sort of smaller track where the wide dogs can gallop round.
Yeah.
It just what I've seen of Oxford so far, you just really don't want to be in one or two. They just don't seem to break from the inside for some reason. Whether it's because the traps are not opening like they like or what, I don't know. If they've only got one ram in it, you would think the old Romford ping box would be a suitable box, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Looks a nice track though. They've done a lot with.
It looks.
Yeah, it looks attractive, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. And like you said, they put a lot of work in, and like you say, they're doing the right thing when they're starting at 7:30. But you can't turn down the RPG TV. Can't turn down the RPG TV money, can you? I suppose if you're going to get it. So
I only get about £500 a meeting or something. It's not a lot.
Was it? I thought so. It's not like a bank's meeting then, where they get like 12 grand or anything then.
No, well, SIS pay them £1,000 a race if they show as an SIS meeting in the retail. But the RPG TV thing is only about an extra monkey. It's not very much.
Yeah.
So if you're on in the, covered in the betting shop and covered in RPG TV, then you get a monkey in a grand race.
Yeah, you get like a monkey or something like that. A monkey, you get a grand race and then a monkey on top.
What? A monkey on top.
A monkey for the lot, I think.
For the whole meeting.
Is your man though? Is your man Tom?
So you're not. So there's Sunderland on a Tuesday then get 14 grand then.
Yeah, they'll get. Well, there might be more. It depends what the contract is like. I don't know what ARC is, but SIS was £1,000 a meeting.
Yeah.
Sorry, £1,000 a race.
Yeah. No wonder they don't want anybody in there. It was the owner's thing the other night. When we got there, and we got to the thing. We said, "Oh, I've got syndicate," and we had another 2 passes. And she went, I'll just see, what's your names? What's your name before we go on the pass here? Oh, just to see if your name's on the list. It's an owner's night and you get free food. So I was like, all right, okay. None of your names on the list. But she was really helpful. She went, I'll go and find out and I'll bring you some programs. Anyway, I just said, if the dog gets beaten, I get dysentery as well, you know what I mean? I'll give it food a miss anyway, but as it turned
I went there for one of the owners' nights. It was like lasagna and chips or something.
It was like bolognese, rice, and there's a tub of bolognese, a tub of rice, and a tub of chips, which were there. And you helped yourself when they give you your paper plate and plastic fork. So I give it a miss. I give it a miss.
Yeah, Newcastle one's decent. Like,
at least you've done it. You know, it's something, isn't it? You know what I mean? So,
well, you get a trophy, you get a bit of extra prize money and stuff.
There was extra prize money, and there was a trophy and a jacket, I think.
Oh, nice. All right, I'm gonna have to shoot, lads, because I'm gonna have to get some food and what have you? I'm starving.
Good to see you,
Right.
Tricky.
Yeah,
Just going on.
Enjoy.
I mean,
Good night.
maybe he's bumping you Sunderland again sometime.
Yeah, I'll be up there probably Wednesday, Thursday this week, I think.
Yeah.
I might go Tuesday, but I'm not certain. But if you're about, give us a shout.
Yeah, will do. All right, mate.
Come on,
See you later. Oh.
Tricky gone.
He's gone. What do you make of this race, PL?
I didn't really. I didn't get this far, so I was relying on you, really.
I like the 4, but it is quite inconsistent with its trapping.
Yeah.
I think the 6 is capable of going forward on its runs, and probably would be the bet in this race, just given the inconsistency of the 4. Reading the 4 just as pure form, I would say that. I went through Cosmopolitan's videos as well, because obviously it's got that flashy 23.96 time, but it was just one of those races where absolutely everything went its way.
Yeah.
And end up getting a solo, but yeah, it could flash loose. There's not an awful lot of pace, I would say, on the inside. So I make 6 the bet, but not a strong one.
Yeah, I'm just watching when 3 and 4 met on, it was in August, mine, but Kilshanny King's he just tried to go in the ways a little bit, and to be fair, Cosmopolitan can smash.
It
Smashed
can,
a
but
toaster
if you
and
look at that
smashed-
race on 7th of October, it could not have gone better for it.
Yeah.
Three can get the occasional bingo break as well. That's a show, that 3's. Yeah. And it's got decent toaster form when it does it right in sprints. So, don't know. I think it's I can't back Kishnikal King. So I have backed him when he's won, but more times I get him wrong. He misses it, but he's a fast dog. I backed the 6. I had a good bet in the 6 when he first came on. He looked a good thing, and he started off really well. And again, they have to step up to honor in class, and it's found him out a little bit. But obviously, if he goes bingo, he's a big runner.
Yeah.
And the 3's, so I think there's three dogs that could all go smash. I'll give it a. Like I say, I'm not bothered now anyway, but at the prices on Betfair, I think I'd take the chances on 3 and 4, but on Matchbook, sorry, 3 and 4.
Yeah, it is a tricky race. There's a lot of possibilities, but yeah, I think 3, 4, and 6 are. I think the price have got them about right. 3's a bit short, and I would have liked. At 4, I probably would have had a bet.
What price you have Matchbook?
3.1
on a Matchbook, 5.4.
Yeah, tough enough.
You don't get easy Romford cards on a Friday, do you?
No.
When you get a lot of inside dogs look like they're really fancied, or a lot of outside dogs really fancied, you then tend to get a bias.
Air approaches.
And
away and racing and 3 smashed out. Cosmopolitan has got to the front for John Mullins and goes around about a length and a half clear from Crossfield Larry, who's turned second. They're clear, then a bubbly freebie into the 3rd turn, and 3 still with a length lead, just fending off the attentions of Crossfield Larry. It's Cosmopolitan kicking again off the last turn for John Mullins up towards the line. Will go on to score readily in the end by a couple of lengths. 3-1-5 the order. And Kilshanny King might have gone wrong at the back.
They were trying to catch him, weren't they? He went racing past him, though. That was always a chance I could do that. That's why I thought one of them 2 might lead 3 or 4 up the middle, but...
Yeah, 3 smashed out.
But put them all in the same race next week, and somebody else will go bingo that one. You know, that's how hard it is there, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Wish there were more pillars in the way.
Yeah.
Have they caught? No, I've not caught the 4 there.
They went racing past them, and there's some people after the line trying to catch him. It went past 7 by the look of it as well.
Probably okay.
He was going at some speed. I think he, I don't know, because he obviously didn't see much went on the floor at the first bend, did he?
Mm. Well, 12 minutes till the lucky last. Sugar, sugar, do 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 do. Oh, honey, honey.
When you were about the taking the winning line out, PL at Lifford, I mean, you only have to look at the likes of Sandown, don't you? How many times the jockeys and the judge and things calls up there. I know Shelbourne too.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, and I think as well you've heard Ian Fortune before, sort of. Oh, I screamed at the cameraman.
Yeah, to make sure he does it right. Yeah,
I don't. Although it gives you a variety, it gives you that extra 25 yards. I don't know whether it's really worth it, Paul, for the fact that it confuses people. And let's get right. You know, when
are you going to have 2 4-bend distances then, or just one?
No, they've still got 3 sets of traps. They've still got.
So it's like Shelbourne, where you're going to have the longest 4-bend.
So there'll be the 480. Well, so 525, 550, and 600. 525, 500, and 575. So there won't be a 600 trip.
Right.
But there'll still be that.
It's a 5, 7, 5, 6 bends then.
Yeah. So, no, 4 bends. So it's still the big long. So if you can imagine.
All right, so you're going to have 3 sets of traps, but they're all going to be 4-bend races.
Yeah, there's always been 3 sets of traps. So the back set of traps were the 575/600 traps.
Yeah.
And the 600 is only the second winning line. So all we're doing is we're the sprint trip I think was 350. It's now 325 yards.
Yeah.
So it's still a good. It's
still a good sprint. It's like Nottingham, isn't it? It's still
the same run to the turn for the sprint. It's just
the winning line's closer.
Yards shorter running. So, which really, from a purist point of view, you want the run to the bend.
Yeah.
So that's why,
definitely. So
that's why we've still kept the 3 sets of traps.
Yeah.
The 750 is like most 750 trips, even at Shelbourne. It's a shortish run.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that we just did that because of it for basic simplicity. I just think sometimes, again, you know, although you want to be old school, it does confuse people that are not aficionados. Yeah. So it was just to keep it simple, really, Paul.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. If you've still got the decent set of distances and stuff, it does make no difference, really, does it? And it saves any confusion, like you said, doesn't it?
Exactly. But it's just such a brilliant running track. It's just such a great, and the guy Kenneth Crossan that has always been the track maintenance manager there. He's just brilliant. He just knows. It's like his baby. He knows the track inside out. He knows how to prepare it, and that's the beauty of Lifford is that we went there in 2007, me and Lorraine, and we loved the gaff, and just it's just one of those things where you see it, and like we've said today, Tom, as well. You know, like with Oxford, Oxford is a good track. Mm-hmm. There's no 2 ways about it. Oxford is a really, really good track. It's just it's getting the basics right, and again the traps haven't been sorted, and that's why that was the first thing that I really said to Harry. We really need to get the traps sorted so that they open correctly. I spoke to Paul Hennessy. Paul Hennessy was a big instigator of sorting out the traps at Kilkenny, his local track, and I think even within the Irish sort of fraternity, they know that you need to get those traps opening quickly, and there were certain instances over there where it wasn't happening, so they just got the job done. Basically, they just sorted it out.
The two basic things you need is the hair working and the traps working, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They're the two basic things you need. I mean, Oxford looks great, and I'm not trying to knock it anyway. I'm just saying, if like from a welfare point of view, them traps aren't safe. When like you said, I put on today, I wouldn't run my dogs. The more great they are, I wouldn't be running my dogs out them traps.
I agree with you. I think it's quite apparent that they just don't open quick enough. And
yeah.
And
well, it looks like it's going to be a superb track.
It looks like they've reshaped the track really well. Yeah. They've banked it really well. They've done everything right. The kennels they've done really well.
Yeah, you don't have to lead. There's dogs coming from off the pace. It looks fantastic. The dogs run the bends well, but if the traps don't open, what's the point?
Yeah, that's a fundamental issue. Yeah.
No. Everything else looks first class to me, from like just looking in from watching on TV and everything.
That's why even with Toaster, Toaster's facilities are
very good.
They're very, very good. I was going to say world class. That might be a bit over the top, but they are very, very good. And there aren't too many tracks within this.
And a world class for a grab track
that could stage a derby, but Toaster can, and the setting is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But again, time and time again, the traps have let the side down. They have let the side down, and that's the only thing that you don't want to leave a bad taste in people's mouth as an experience of going to a dog track. And I think even even if you're a purist, if you're a novice, it doesn't really matter. You just want things to have a level playing field.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that's why I think it's kind of learning a little bit from maybe Toaster's mistakes from our point of view, in that you just don't want to leave things to chance. And that's why,
like you said, you got ahead of the game by
the Gavin Smith. I knew Gavin Smith from Crayford, Paul, and funny enough, he's just put a new hay rail system in it, and that was another consideration at Lifford. Do we put a new hay rail system in? Well, it's good enough at the moment, but that might be a consideration. But at the moment, you want to take any considerations to cut corners with traps, and I think that was the important thing, and that's what we did. So, and hopefully Toaster will do it now.
Just for me, like you said, two basic things: you need working traps and the working hair. And the fact, like you say, Sheffield, not only since Toaster and Oxford, Sheffield, like he put Rich 3 times, it's failed when you've travelled there. But it's all money, isn't it? At this day and age as well. And not to have, like I said, can you just have a spare wire underneath or something to pull in? It just seems a simple thing to me, but it seems rocket science in ground racing for some reason. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Everything gets dragged out. Like the camera at Romford still hasn't been done. And then you hear Richard Harkness say, like they say, the throwaway comment about, I don't like the position it's in, the new camera. And you think, well, what the hell are going to show us now? It can't be worse than the one they've got, can it? But it could be, couldn't it? You don't know, do you? Why doesn't it? You didn't say why I didn't like it, but it's up in the judge's box. You'd think you'd get a better view.
Yeah.
But that GoPro thing Dave Clark put on, that made you feel seasick. So if the camera's like that, I don't know if it is any better.
I think he just clamped it to the first bend rail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I don't know. You don't know, do you? It's just you'd think they want to make things as good as possible to get people watching, to get people betting. Because isn't SIS's thing there for the bookmakers, to take money, for the bookmakers, for people who have bets, and it's
100%. It's quite fundamental. It's quite straightforward. It's not rocket science. It's just really, it's a gambling sport. There's 6 dogs that go in the traps, and you just want to have a bet on them. I don't. It's a pure gambling sport, and I don't really get why we make it so difficult. It's strange. It's really, really strange.
It's like when you don't want to let people who are winning or whatever. Well, if I was a bookmaker, I had someone who was, and I was laying them, and they were coming out and winning off me regular, you just think, well, I might have this wrong, and maybe go a shorter price and just be thinking like, you know what I mean? They know more than I do. Why?
Yeah.
What's the point of banning them not having that information?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you.
Thoughts on this race?
I'll be against Ford as it's drawn. I thought the winner would come from 1 or 2. I didn't think 2 would be shot. I think 2 might have been bigger earlier. If 2 clears 1, I think 2 might skip off the front and get away. I'll be with 2.
I favoured 1 here. I thought.
You got 2 chances of 1, haven't you? Didn't have to lead, does it?
Yeah, like bet 1 and have a few dogs back to beat.
Frame up dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because here's a few dogs here that could go. I mean, Doghouse Dazzler pops out, doesn't it, and wins at big prices. So
yeah, I did. I backed him at the post at 28 for the big comp at the Champion Stakes, and he just never won a race.
yeah,
And he actually got beat by Bubbly Crystal, so that's why I was kind of. So yeah, I'd probably have to have a little bit on 5 just to stop the brain damage, just in case. Yeah.
I mean, he won the other week when everything all night, all that won all night was the inside, and they come to the last race, and he took off Doghouse Dazzler.
Yeah, he come and beat Warzone Tom and Ninja Kerry, didn't he? Yeah.
And I backed him just because the next time I backed him when he won because I thought, well, he won against the going last time.
Yeah.
And that night you could see the going was level. But it's a bit like you say like typical Romford dogs, isn't it? Where if they do it right at the start, it's a different ball game from, isn't it?
Yeah.
12.5 in the machine as well.
Going behind.
Plenty of money for 2. And strong on Betfair as well.
2 very capable of smashing out.
Yeah, that's right. I thought it was, like you said, that's why I just favoured slightly over 1, but I think it was a lot bigger price earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Sugar's a very big price, really, for a dog that's capable of 34.87.
Well, as it comes, pictures have disappeared here.
Here we go.
Oh, bollocks.
Champion Stakes Constellation. And Away and Racing and Swift Mellow has bombed out the boxes and into the turn will lead. From in the inside, Bubbly Crystals turn in second spot. Then in behind these comes Romeo on Tilt. Full circuit to race, still the stripes with the advantage from Bubbly Crystals in second. Then in behind these comes the 2-dog Romeo on Tilt, and Antigua Sugar is looking to bridge the gap into the 5th turn now, but 6 still with the advantage. Swift Mellow for Paul Burr has a 2-length lead from Bubbly Crystals in second. Then in behind these comes the 2. It's 6-1-2. That's the order. Swift Mellow has won it and beaten Bubbly Crystal.
That was a huge price, wasn't it?
Yeah. Massive, yeah.
Exclusive.
I thought 1 would win going to the corner. I didn't know.
Yeah, so did I.
I didn't really know 6, but
you write off a Paul Burr runner at your peril, don't you?
Oh, yes. So many dogs to check off around Romford.
But yeah, I mean, based on time sectionals, had to run its best ever run, and I think it has.
Yeah, if I was a layer, like you said, I took on the 4 just as drawn. I think it does need to be out wide that, but I didn't. Like you said, Romeo. I thought 1 or 2 would win, so I'm glad I wasn't involved. Ran well 6, so it's never looked like getting well. You think I thought 1 was quite strong, but 6 has been stronger, if anything, hasn't it?
It's won on merit, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, 1's had every chance, hasn't it? There's no excuses at all.
Yeah. He's done it again.
If anything, it's gone further away.
Yeah.
Yarmouth dogs run well at Romford, though, don't they?
They do. For whatever reason,
they do.
They do. Yeah, you're right. They do.
And the tracks are chalk and cheese as well, aren't they? With the length of the straight. Although Romford's partly longer straight than what you think it is. But there's the experts on RPG TV. Only 2 of them in credit.
Yeah.
That thing was taking the SPs a bit as well, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but taking SPs or not, if you're minus £8 and minus £20 and things like that, you're still not doing very well, are you?
No. Not doing as good as me, Tom, are they? No, Doncaster tip.
Like Doncaster, that's flying. I think we should do a Doncaster next.
Do you?
Yeah. I think next time you think there's a card like there was you did the preview for, we should do a Doncaster.
Yeah.
Just go deep and aggressive with the betting.
Yeah, and DJ's always a good guest, although he gets tied up with horse race meetings, obviously. But I suppose now the Knights are drawing out, it might be able to get back home
That's
a bit.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so just dodge your subtle night race and show on the
That's
sleep.
it.
Maybe be all right.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about doing a Wednesday or something on Doncaster as well is you haven't got like 90% of the card being favourites with Gaskin and Sue Watson, have you?
That's it, yeah.
So you've got a bit more chance anyway.
Yeah. It's always a bonus.
Right. Thank you very much. Cheers for joining us, Watty. Sorry your night out didn't work out, but a pleasure having you.
I didn't go out and get 2 winners, so I'm quite happy it's worked out well.
That was handy, wasn't it? Yeah, it's very good.
It's all worked out well in the end.
Very good.
Enough for a leg of mince. Nice one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers all.
Right.
Thanks to all the viewers.
Right.
Thanks for all who's joined in on the chat, and we will see you all again soon.
See ya.
Cheers, bye.